welcome to Sewing Quarter. I'm Tash McCarthy, here bright and early, and I have to say, well done team, in actually getting in this morning. Have you got snow? Oh, we've got the horrible slushy stuff. It's so nice to be in the building. So what I would suggest for you is don't go outside because it's not very nice. Stay in, grab yourself a nice hot drink, maybe a bit of toast or posh bit of croissant or something, and join us for the next 4 hours. I'm here with Jenniffer Taylor. Other breakfasting options obviously are available, and this is what we've got coming up for you today. So 8 a.m. it's Jenniffer Taylor, and she's sewing, doing what she does best. And then 9 a.m. is our winter sale. We haven't had embroidery stuff in the winter sale yet. Here we have at 9 a.m. And then 10 a.m. sewing for devices, basically tablet covers and things like that, with Jenniffer, which is fabulous, and some brand new Tim Holtz fabric. Ooh. And then 11 a.m. we've got our Creative Grids rulers and a brand new Creative Grids book. Who knew they wrote books? They do now. Producer Paul said, I did. Well, yeah, you prepped the show with me. Of course, you know. Yeah. Right, now, a few things you need if you are sewing. Did you get a sewing machine for Christmas? Oh, I know a lot of you have messaged me going, yay, finally got one. So congratulations. What feet did it come with? What feet do you have? I don't mean like feet. I mean like sewing machine feet. So let's have a look at some of the different types that you can get. Stitch in the ditch first, so not the one I'm holding. This one. This is your ditch quilting foot. Now, I can happily say I've been dreadful at stitching in the ditch. It's actually one of those things that's harder than it looks. And then I discovered about one of these, got one, so much easier, did my mum's entire Christmas quilt, bosh, like that, done. So for $18.99, make life easy on yourself. That's all I can say with that. Brilliant piece of kit, $18.99, DMJE05. Jenniffer is going to demo that one first. Every day I'm ruffling, the ultimate ruffler. If you need a ruffle in your life, and I'm not just talking about feathers, $49.99. This is your Elna ruffler. We only have a limited stock of these, but when I say limited, I mean 3. But for those of you that like to ruffle, then there we go. Jen's going to talk us through this one too, because I'm not too sure about ruffling. Now, we've got a beading foot. Are you a budding beader? Yeah, that's right. Then here we go. This is a beading foot for you. There it is, $26.99. So you can, you know, all those beautiful dresses and things like that with all those beads on, you think, how on earth did they do that? With this foot, possibly. And the same with your sequins and ribbons. If you're attaching them onto bags or dresses or outfits, a bit of a sparkle here onto your bag, I don't know. Anywhere that you need a bit of sparkle. I grew up in a town where bonfire night was big and everybody did fancy dress on bonfire night. And there was a lot of sequins going on there, let me tell you. $19.99, WFJE 17. Now, your border guide foot. This is brilliant. If you can't be bothered to mark out all your lines for you to guide you for where to do your stitching, just get this. And then it's got the lines on it for you. We'll get that out and have a look, and you can take a closer look because the lines are red and it's got a red background, so you can't really see it. But when we get it out of the packet, all will be revealed. $26.99. Now, here we go. This one is your convertible free motion quilting foot set for low shank models. Whew, breathe. Right. First of all, with this, I can hear you saying, I don't know if I've got a low shank or a high shank. If you call our call centre number, which is free to do so, 0800 112 4433, then they have a list. If you know the type of machine that you have, the make and the model of your machine, just ring up and they will tell you whether you have high shank, low shank, mid shank, shake it all about shank. Then they will be able to tell you, and that is £65 on the nose. Now, what else have we got? Bobbins. The Friday before Christmas, we were all sat having our Christmas dinner, our works Christmas dinner, and the Hayley who was producing yesterday pipes up, I've only got 3 bobbins, so I have to pull off all the thread in between, and then we're like, whoa, 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 whoa. For $7.99, you can get 10 new ones and not waste your thread. And they come in a nice packet. There you go. Right, now. Ooh. Do you want all of these? I do. I want all the colours, quite frankly. Yeah. So you can get the stand and all of the colours, and they do fit on. Where's that one? Ah, yes, there it is. For $59.99, VSGC 81. This is your 32 thread bundle with the stand. You get the whole lot, which is fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. All the colours that you need, oh well, just brilliant. And you see, I like this because you get all of your different tones of cream along. Oh, it's lovely. $59.99. I think that sold out last time we brought that to wear. I might have made that up, but I think I'm right in saying that. Anyway, Jen, hello. Intrepid traveller through slush and sleet and snow. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little bit snotty, just so you know, and I apologise in advance if there are any snot bubbles coming from me today, but the whole family's come down with it.
Nice.
Santa decided to bring us the flu for Christmas.
Good old Santa.
Good old Santa.
He's
But other than that, I'm
all the presents.
chipper.
Yay!
Cool. So we've got an array of feet today.
Yes.
We really have. We've got a lot to get through. I am totally up to you. Where do you want to go? I'm happy
I
to
would
talk
like
about the machine
to
or
stitch
dive
in the ditch first, because this has been a revelation for me.
Yeah, oh.
I always thought stitching in the ditch was going to be one of the easiest things you could possibly do, because you just follow the line of where you stitch. But here's the thing. For me, being a relatively new quilter, sometimes things aren't quite as...
Let's go a little bit array.
Yeah. And so, after doing the last show with this on, I was like, hang on, I need that in my life. So much easier.
It is
so much easier. You need one in your life if you don't already have one.
It's all about getting the tools for the job.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Save you the stress.
Yes.
And what's also good about this, and I'm going to show you how to stitch in the ditch from a quilting perspective, but there's no reason why you can't use this for your binding as well. So you can stitch into your binding, and when you're finishing off, or your necklines or whatever, you can apply it to your dressmaking as well. Nice. Okay, so this is our ditching in the foot. Stitching in the ditch foot. But what I want to do, I've got this other foot here because I want to show you the difference between, you might look at this and think, oh, that looks like a blind hem foot. It's not the same. And the reason being, as you can see here,
it's got a propeller.
It's got a very big propeller. Whereas if I bring in this, which happens to be a 1/4 inch foot, but your blind hem would look the same, can you see the difference in the blades? See how thin that one is in comparison with that one? It's very, very deep.
And also differently placed. That's placed right in the middle.
Centre, yeah.
If you just there, that's placed right in the centre of that groove there, whereas your 1/4 inch or your blind hem is placed on the edge there, not in the middle. So that groove there, that bit that looks like the underside of a boat.
It is boating in between where your two fabrics are meeting.
Just going to cruise along.
It's exactly that. So what it will do is kind of press the seam and open the seam out. Like you see, like a boat cutting through water, that's effectively what that is doing, and it's deeper, whereas you're not going to get the same effect using your 1/4 inch foot or your blind hem foot. So it is very, very different, okay? Yeah. So I'm going to attach this on and show you how it works. So
you know the other thing I thought of that you could use that for?
Go on.
And that is just, it's just occurred to me just before you put it in. You know when you top stitch?
Yes.
Sort of just round, like if you were to top stitch around, pockets, something like that, and you want to be very, very close. If you butt your fabric up against that line, and move your needle over to there, then you can use that as a guide.
You could.
Could you or not?
Well, just because it's quite a deep, I'm going to call it a boat. It's not a boat, but if I just pop it against there, because it is quite a deep boat, I don't think you're going to get as much traction, I think. Do you know what I mean? Like you need the wadding.
Yeah, to just use that as the guide so that your fabric didn't... I don't know. It's just something to try at some point.
Well, this is the thing. Sometimes you end up finding new uses for tools that you wouldn't necessarily use them for.
It just dawned on me while we were chatting.
It does work, and I would move your needle across, absolutely. And it's just that because that boat section there is quite big.
Yeah.
I just want you to come down. There you go. That boat section there is quite deep, depending on the fabric. So if you're going for maybe something like really heavy corduroy, for instance, so where you have got that fold, let's say we're doing a pocket, then yes, you've got quite a bit of a lip. So therefore, this would be perfect for that. But you haven't got much. If you're going to do it with a cotton, there isn't enough wadding for it. It won't.
Well, do you know what? Why don't we try it as nature intended?
Let's do it as nature
with your
intended.
quilting.
So you haven't got to take anything off. You just need to drop your foot down as you normally would do to attach your feet.
Yes.
Okay, and when you're stitching in your ditch, you want your fabric to be, like you see I've pressed mine to the left, so you want to be placing that lip to the left when you come into your foot. Does that make sense? So you're butting up, you can see the arm, the black arm there, which has got a little boat on, that's facing on the left, so my seam is pressed towards the left, okay?
Right.
So what I'm going to do is drop that down. So you may need to make some adjustments to your needle. So when I drop that down, it's moving slightly to the left, so it's not right across.
So this is, we can just see it now, that sort of blade bit, if you will, it's not a propeller, is it?
I'm calling it,
You know the bit that I mean of a boat?
The rudder, it's like a
the
rudder.
Yes, that's it, the rudder.
The rudder.
So the rudder there is on the side where it's a lip. There, oh, that's a great shot.
There you go. Perfect. So
Oh, well, it's award-winning director Mike this morning.
There
you can tell, can't you?
So it's butting up against the lift, and you can see from here that you can see that my seams aren't on this side, they are on that side, which is giving me that lovely lift, which is allowing that rudder to just lie up against, and it's got that lift.
Yes.
Okay. Whereas if I just drop my needle down, I'm not sure if you can see that, it's literally about a stitch or two stitch just away from that, whereas ideally we want to be following the rudder.
Actually in that ditch.
Exactly, so I'm going to use my machine, I'm going to go with my stitch width.
Yep.
Okay, so even though it's a straight stitch, I'm going to use it to manoeuvre my needle. Hold on, let's get back up. That's better. A bit more.
So if you have a zigzag stitch function on your machine and you can adjust the width,
move it
then
across.
you can move your needle. And that was a revelation to me. I was like, well, how can I move my needle across just in straight stitch? Because you have stitch width.
Exactly.
So just move it across.
Just move it across.
Genius.
So the great thing about your stitching in the ditch is that you haven't got to worry about it anymore. You just need to, let me turn my machine up a little bit because that is so slow. The little rudder is doing all of the work for you. Nice. It is a revolution. It's an absolute revolution, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm just going down the length of that for you.
And we've put in the brightest of greens that we could possibly find, so that if you went outside your ditch, we'd see it. But look at that. Beautifully, well, that's the thread, so that's misleading. There we go. Beautifully stitched in the, basically the fact you can't see the green means that Jen's done a cracking job.
You're really having to look for that.
You're going to have to squint.
I mean, ideally, you don't want to be going. So if, for instance, if you've pressed your seams open, so let's imagine that's what we've done. You really don't. You don't want to be stitching over your stitches. So in theory, you do want to go slightly away from the stitch line, but because of it's a quilted project that we're working on, you can see that it's creating that stitch in the ditch, so it's
echoing the quilt as well. It's giving more definition to that quilt. Fabulous. And then of course on the back,
nice and clean and tidy.
Beautiful.
So I mean, I was taking the sewing machine quite slow and smooth, so you could see clearly what I was doing there. But once you've got that tool, you'll be whizzing your quilts up in no time.
Yeah, and you're right, I did. Just like that.
So yeah, that's it.
There.
So it's not the same as your blind hem foot or your 1/4 foot. You're not going to get the same effect because where the position of our rudder is. Okay,
Yes.
so it's definitely a foot that you require for the job. Okay, you can't bodge it with your other feet.
Right tools for the job. Every time, even if I am trying to find other jobs for that.
Well, I think it's a great one for your binding. So once you've sewn your binding on the edge, then when you fold it over, then again stitch in the ditch, but you'll be attaching your binding. So get your wonder clips out, stitch in the ditch from the front, and you've attached your binding on the back, nice and clean and tidy.
Very nice.
It is a lovely little foot.
And it can be yours for $18.99 today. DMJE 05.
05.
Well, look, they've done a clever little thing of putting the...
Oh, that's new.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
I do like that. That's a bit snazzy.
Oh, look at us with the new graphics.
I do like that.
Yeah, very snaz. What's next?
Well, I'm happy to talk about what feet you get in the machine, if you like, or we can get on to our other ones. I'm happy for you to direct me in any way, shape or form.
Oh, yeah, the ribbon one.
The ribbon one?
Yes, please.
That's a bit fun. That's a bit fun.
Well, now, here we go. There's a beading foot over here. And where's the ribbon one?
The ribbon one is this one here. So
it's
it's a ribbon or a sequin foot. And I'll just check the mill for you there. I think it was 7. It's a 7 mil. So this section here, so if I just bring you around, Natasha, you can see you've got like a little window in there. Let me just keep to there. That's the one. So that window is 7 mil there. So if your sequin or ribbon is 7 mil, you'll be able to get that through that hole. I mean, it will make more sense when we start doing our demonstration.
I mean, sequins are generally...
They are a nightmare.
But they are generally that sort of width, aren't they? Unless you're like super duper ones. But your common or garden... I don't know how I can call anything so sparkly and glittery and fun. Common or garden. But your normal...
We know what you mean.
Your bog standard sequin... That doesn't sound any better. Is about
It will go through that. Yeah, absolutely. So it's more the ribbon. So if you're worrying about your ribbon. So anything sort of 7 mil. So if I bring some examples in for you. So we've sold this quite a couple of times, I think, on the show. So it's that kind of size ribbon that you're looking at there.
Nice.
So we've got our little
the gingham one.
The gingham one is there, and then obviously we've got our nice sort of sateen one there. So anything that sort of size,
it's just
that's what we're talking about. Okay.
We're going to bring the details for the gingham ribbon. It's $3.99.
It's a bargain.
Details coming up on your screen as we speak. Now, I have a whole load of my grandmother's sequins.
Oh, lovely.
I've never used them.
Well, you need this foot, and you will.
Because I just look at it and
aren't they?
Am I meant to hand stitch every one of them? What's going on? How am I supposed to do that? So they're just sitting there. Obviously, we never throw anything away. Ever. Never. No. I've still got them. They're in a tin.
Wow, they're
in a Yardley's lavender tin. I even know the type of the tin. That's what she used to have, the Yardley's lavender safe, but I haven't used them. So actually I need to get this so that I can sequin up everything.
So what basically happens is that you thread your sequins or ribbon through that section there. Okay, and as you're sewing, what it's doing, so it doesn't matter, you don't need to concentrate because it's doing all the hard work for you. So basically, as your ribbon runs through, it's sewing that in place.
Oh, nice.
But what I really like about it, which I'm going to, I won't reveal it yet. I'll just sew it on first. So again, same as you would do your normal feet, you just drop that down and it'll attach it itself on. Right. So I'm going to sew my ribbon on. So I'm just going to turn it off and on just to reset the settings. I'm going to thread my ribbon through the foot. Just bring that through the back. Oh, hello.
Now, you see, here's the thing. Now that I have a glittery, sparkly, loving, almost 4-year-old niece.
Yes.
I need this foot in my life. For anything that I make her, she requires obviously something glittery and sparkly on it.
This is the one for you.
It's the one, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And so as a dressmaker, you can add little detailing, ribbons around things.
Absolutely. Quick as flash. You haven't got to worry about it. Just get it through the guide and then you're good to go.
Nice.
So I'm just going to attach this with a nice straight stitch. So this is what it's looking from so far. So you can see that's nicely attached there.
Yeah. Let me get that green out of the way so you can see it. There. Okay, good.
Done. But what I really like about it is that we can get quite creative with it. So I'm going to go for a 10.
For what?
For a 10, which is a zigzag stitch on my machine. And you can actually use some of your decorative stitches as well.
Oh, nice. Look at that. Oh, very nice. That looks fabulous. So I could use a white ribbon and put a bright pink thread
you could get your threads out, have a play with your threads. Like I say, I'm just doing a very quick zigzag stitch. But you could really start playing with that. So the only thing is that you just need to make sure that your stitch width is no bigger than 7.
But we can adjust the stitch width on our machine.
You can adjust that. So just, if before you do any kind of decorative, just quickly do a little test and then have a little play, because obviously, I mean, the throat on the foot is quite a big one, like I say, but if you're going to go for specifics, it's 0 to 7. So as long as your decorative stitch doesn't go outside that window, so get your manual out, have a quick check, you'll be able to put lots of decorative stitches onto your ribbons as well.
Do you know, out of our machines that we sell, it's only sort of the 680 EX Plus that has a 9mm swing on it. The rest are all around 7. So most of your machines will be between 5 and 7 mil swing. So, but just double check. But also, just as long as you check your width, and as Jen says, you've had
it'll come up on your on your settings when you go for 10.
Well, I'm already thinking I've got a little heart decorative stitch. So imagine doing a beautiful heart on a ribbon.
That's going to be lovely.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Hang on.
You're excited.
Do you have to have any fabric underneath?
Not that I'm aware of. Should we have a little try?
Because all of a sudden,
find out.
if you have a machine that will embroider names and things like that,
then you might be able,
you could embroider names onto ribbons.
Oh. What I would suggest, because the way the teeth are, you need something to grip on that. So what I would suggest is maybe putting some
tear away,
something like that, just to stabilise it. So you're effectively sewing onto fabric. It's only because I can see the dog feeds on here are outside my ribbon, obviously.
Right, okay.
So it's not going to pull through.
I wonder if you could manually pull it. Let's try. Let's give it a go.
Right.
Sorry, it's only live
It's
TV.
it's only a little bit dangerous.
Let's give it a go. Or, like you say, just get some tear away.
Get some tear away, yeah.
Just a stabiliser that you can, or wash away stabiliser.
Water soluble, anything like that.
Anything
like that.
Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
Says Anne Maria. Watching you both and enjoying my porridge. Ooh. Is it just plain porridge, or do you put like cinnamon or raisins or anything in?
I'm just doing a quick zigzag, just to have a little test, little play.
By Jove, she's only gone and done it.
I think anything more complicated than your zigzag, I mean, you can see that it's starting to pucker a little bit. Just in certain places, you can see how it's gathering it a little bit. So I would, if you're going to do what we're suggesting, just get your stabiliser.
But
how much is it? How much is it?
We're talking couple of quid.
Couple of quid, pennies. Just get your stabiliser. So you're effectively sewing onto fabric, but then you'll be tearing that away or washing it away.
And then you can have names and all sorts of things. You can, because how much is that? You know, pretty ribbon like that, embroidered ribbon, is really expensive. Now you can make your own.
Absolutely.
Right. Good. I'm glad we've solved that problem that we didn't even know we had a problem with. But now, excellent. How to use a sewing machine.
It's always a handy one.
We've covered a few little things, haven't we?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd been sewing for a long while before I realised that actually I could adjust where my straight stitch needle went just by adjusting the width. Mm-hmm. It's obvious once you know it, but if you don't know it, you don't know the questions to ask to know the answers. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So this is a brilliant book. So it's how to use a sewing machine. It's not assuming any knowledge, which I absolutely love. So before you begin, it talks you all the way through that. Even choosing a machine. We had a show the other day where we went through, I think it was 7 different machines, just to show you, for you to choose where you're at, which one's right for you, whether you want to take it to workshops, whether it's going to be your main workhorse, whether you want, what you're going to be using it for, but get to know your machine. That is the key. And play. You see, what I also like about this, and which people really underestimate, is how you sit at your sewing machine.
It's so important to look after yourself.
Yeah.
It's like anything, like, for instance, when you're at work, if you're working at a desk or do computer work, you have occupational health come around and assess your desk, whether the chair's right. It's exactly the same for your sewing machine, guys. Look after your backs.
And your necks.
Absolutely. And wrists, all of it. Do your exercises.
Yes.
Do your sewing machine exercises.
When limbered up, ready to sew.
It's so true.
But it is, and it takes you through the different parts of your machine. It's those little things you wouldn't even think about. Absolutely. I mean, sometimes, if I'm not sat properly, then I come away feeling a bit achy.
Well, if you look after yourself, you can sew for longer. That's my
Brilliant.
thought process on it.
Absolutely. So this is, again, talking you through the different needles. We've got different needles on the show for you today. But, you know,
But again, unless you've been advised about that, you would just go, it's a needle, that's all I need. It goes through, and there are different needles for different jobs.
Well, I did sort of assume that Universal actually did everything because of the name. Apparently not so. So here you've got a very handy little chart. This is one that I would have pegged all the time.
I would definitely be taking a photocopy of that page and maybe laminating it even.
Oh, possibly, having it up on
my
the wall.
sewing table next to me.
So it's going to tell you the fabric type, the thread to use, and the needle type, and what that transfers to in terms of needle size in the US and UK, because sometimes
you want to get one or the other.
Yeah. And then you're like, well, I just don't know. So that is a brilliant page. If you get this book for nothing else, get it for that. But
and also, you just think, like, even though I'm sewing the time, I forget, what does that mean? What is a 90 needle now? So it's always worth having that reference guide, because there's so many numbers and bits and bobs to remember. You can't remember everything, guys. And it is nice to have that little Bible, if you like, next to, so you just flick through and go, that's what it was on about.
Now, here we go. If you have an overlocker, different ways of overlocking. Nice. Well, that's the thing. I mean, do I need to use all of my 4 threads all the time? No, you don't. Using your machine. So it really is...
holding your hand, isn't it?
Do you know what? When I got back into sewing, I snapped a needle and I didn't get back on that machine for ages because I was too scared to change the needle. I didn't know which way around. Yeah, just stupid little things. I've been there, I've done it. I think I cheated, took it for service. I went, could you just change the needle? Wait there, please. And troubleshooting as well, because we all get the same things happen, and you'll see it happen on the show. And the very first thing, but it does, because that is what happens. It's like with your computer, and my husband always jokes, have you started switching it off and on? Switch your machine off and on, and rethread it from scratch. And then if you're still having trouble, check out the purple page. There you go. So it's stuff full of fabulous things like that. Brilliant.
Oh, nice.
Oh, enclosed. Yeah, it talks you through all of that. Sewing hems. Hems have been a bit of a mystery for years for me. Zippers and buttonholes. Oh, we're going to show you a button later. But anyway, well, I say we, Jenny's. So that is how to use a sewing machine. I like to say, and so much more.
Oh yeah, the fact that it's covering different types of seam finishes and hems,
buttons, things like that.
No, that's a very comprehensive book you have there.
For $12.99.
Bargain.
Oh look.
Oh, what's that?
Now, I don't know, but this is a girl and she has a sewing machine.
Really?
Hello. That mustard top looks quite familiar.
I'm wearing it. I didn't even realise that. How funny.
I like how you've coordinated. In fact, this is in the book.
Yeah, this is in the book.
So if you've ever fancied dressmaking but don't know where to start, get Jen's book. So a lot of these are pattern-free. Take your measurements.
It will fit you.
It will fit you. There you are.
It's all based on you. It's all based on you. So it's either taking clothes that you already have in your garments, so basic things like maybe a t-shirt, and using that as your base pattern because you know that t-shirt fits you, or we are literally just taking a few essential body measurements and then creating patterns from there, either direct to fabric or to paper first.
Perfect.
There's a couple of upcycle bits in there as well, but you know, it's all, every project I wanted to take you through a different skill, so you're gaining things as you go through the projects in the book.
I'm just going towards the back. I know there is. Oh,
tassels!
Woo!
So my next love after pockets is a tassel.
Yeah.
Is a tassel, I'm afraid.
So that when you're, because I know you like to shake your booty, then you'll be tassel-tastic. So there's a whole thing about how to make your clothes from scratch.
So I'm showing you how to take your body measurements without anybody. Not everyone has a sewing buddy or a friend that you sew with.
Do you know
sometimes
what, Jen?
It can be a very isolating thing, little crafts, can't they?
And also, sometimes I don't actually want people knowing my measurements.
This is the beauty of being able to measure yourself correctly.
You know, after I had Freddie, I put on 6.5 stone, and I really did not want anybody
but you were still
measuring.
Gorgeous.
But I didn't want anyone knowing my measurements.
No.
And apart from that, I didn't have any clothes that fit me. So actually, this book would have been perfect because I could have made my own clothes. But that's the thing, isn't it? So, oh, look at you, gypsy girl, fab. Hang on, I will get to.
You're getting it. A little bit more.
Where is it?
There's a lot of projects in there,
No,
guys.
there are, aren't there? It's stuff full. And I want to get to this beautiful dress that you're wearing because we did the needle core. Oh, I've gone past it. I flipped past it.
You never have.
Have I?
No, I don't think you have.
Didn't I? Anyway, oh, there it is. There, it was on the next page. I knew I was there or thereabout. There we go. That's it. this is what I
This
love
is a
about your book.
good post-Christmas
Hide your
dress
sins.
tunic.
Jen, what
It's a
I'm going to
good
say
one.
that I love about this book is that I have seen you wear every single one of
Yep.
these,
I
not
live
just in
them.
the studio.
No,
but like
I do live in them.
out
I've got
and
the
about.
coat out there. I can bring
Yeah,
it in.
no, you have.
No, I do. Because I think it's important. If you're going to be an advocate for sewing and going, sew your own clothes, guys, why would I not be wearing things that I've made?
But it
my
wasn't-
wardrobe is pretty much handmade.
The book wasn't made, the clothes weren't made for the book. You
No.
had the clothes because you love to make.
Yeah.
Fabulous. £12.99 credit. Right. I'm going over here. I've got a what? Sorry, producer Paul. Oh, I've walked past something. This. Oh my word. Right. La 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 la. Here we go. Yeah, you should have told me that this was what we were going to. Then I would have known. Right. So this is a very handy little gadget. It has wheels, which is even better. So you can
Ooh.
wheel it around all over the place, spin it around. Excuse my boots, but it was really horrible out today. So I've got, yesterday after we finished, my feet were so cold I couldn't actually feel them. So today I've got nice warm boots on and socks. Anyway, this is about the bag. So spinning this bag around, nice and easy. And I know that you'll be saying, well, that's because it's got nothing in it. It's like in EastEnders where they leave and take a suitcase and it's clearly got nothing in but feathers. No, we haven't done that because, oh look, let me just take this telescopic handle down and open this up because I'll tell you this. Yes, it did wheel around super easily, but look, I do have a sewing machine in there. It is in there and it is beautifully padded all the way around. In fact, if I take that out, then I can show you because I know that some of you will be going, yeah, but Tash, I saw it wobble for a second there. Well, that's only because what we haven't done is strap it in. I could have strapped it in. I could have done. Let me show you everything else that's in there. So I could have strapped it in and then it wouldn't wobble around anywhere. There you go, I've got little straps in there. All of this is padded. It's going to really look after your machine. So that's all beautifully padded there. Let's do that up again there. We've got... Now, you see, this is like it was made for Jenniffer Taylor with pockets galore. Pockets, pockets, pockets. Oh, there's many a pocket going on here. Now, rulers, things like that, patterns, anything like that, pop them in. And again, that is protected. Do you know what? We pay a lot of money for our rulers. Keep them nice and secure. Pop them in there. There's little elasticated bits you can pop your scissors in and they're not going to flop around all over the place with blades and stuff. So all of those. And then you've also got side pockets, which I love as well. And, oh, that's the other nice thing. You know, bend with the knees to pick up, but it's got double handles there. But it's going to take the weight. So if you want to pick that up with the machine inside, you absolutely can do. And then you've got lots of pockets on the side, both sides, lots of different pockets for you to pop your rulers in or anything, all the other sewing paraphernalia that you need to take with you, or whether, quite frankly, you just want a bag that you can fit a lot of stuff in. $69.99 gets you that. Now, whilst I'm here, Lucy, 2 hands, nice. Do you want 32 threads? Do you? Do you? Well, there you go. 32 of them here. Just here for you. You get all of these. So it's not just a matter of the stand. You get 32 threads ready to put on it. There's nothing worse, is there, than getting a new stand and just having a bit of it full. Here you get the whole rainbow. $59.99. Lots of you have this in your baskets, but do please check out. I do believe that this might have sold out last time. That's my understanding. So $59.99, VSGC 81. Most popular foot is the stitch in the ditch foot. If you don't have a stitch in the ditch foot, but you do stitch in the ditch, make life easy. Just make life easy on yourself. Jen's really been so clear and shown us so well how that works. For $18.99, it's yours. Perfect. Some people are buying 2. You buying for a friend?
Oh, that's a nice gift.
You never know.
That'll be a good sewing advent calendar gift.
Nice.
Do you not think?
Every day I'm ruffling.
Every day I'm ruffling. Oh, you've been talking about this one then?
Yeah.
Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, it's not for extracting teeth.
Do you know,
I
it does
assure
look like
you.
some sort of torture device.
It is.
It's
It
not,
is.
but it kind of looks like it might. I mean, look at that. It's a beast. Yeah, it does. But award-winning director Mike just said it looks like a scorpion. I mean, so many things that this isn't.
It looks vicious, but it really isn't. It's delightful.
We've only got 3, so you need to be quick if you want this. And when you see what it does, you're gonna want it.
You're gonna want it.
What does it do?
Okay, so basically, in a nutshell, it ruffles. But before I put it on the machine, I just want to walk it through because this is it's for any machine. But I believe our call centre have a big, long, extensive list. So if you want to double check that.
Yes.
But it does say on the package that it's the ultimate ruffler and it can be used with any home use sewing machine.
They've even put that in bold.
In bold. Any. And the reason why, I believe, is these 2 screws here, because you can adjust it depending on where your shank fits. So it's these 2 here that I'm talking about, that one and that one. So what that's going to do is move it either left or right or forward and backwards. And it's that section there that you're actually attaching to your machine. So you know where you put your normal feet on. So if I just bring you now, stitch in the ditch for a second. So you see that bar there?
Yes.
That's what you would attach to your machine.
Yes.
It's that bar there. It's the same. It's just attached. That's how it goes. It looks complicated, but it is the same process as you stitch in the ditch. You just drop it down.
Yeah.
Okay, but you might need to do some adjustment here with those 2 screws to bring it left or right to make sure that it's in the central position.
But that's why they can put any
machine
in bold, shouty bold.
In bold, shouty. The one thing as well is this section here, the black section there, the little hook. Make sure you're getting that on because you don't want to be breaking any parts of your machine. So I'm going to do that now.
So the scorpion tail hooks on.
Scorpion tail.
So it fits on a little bit like a walking foot.
Exactly.
In terms of that. I mean, with a walking foot, I had to take the ankle off my machine as well.
Yeah.
But you don't with this.
No. So with an ankle, like you say, everything comes off with a walking foot, but as far as the arm is concerned, exactly the same process as your walking foot. So
okay.
I'm going to drop this on. So just make sure you're going to pop that in, so you're hooking onto the section that just comes out.
Yep. And
what that does is creates the ruffle. It's moving up and down. So like your walking foot would be moving the top dogs, the feed dogs that is. This is creating the ruffle. Okay. And again, there's a couple of settings on there. So I'm just going to change my machine back to a straight stitch. So that's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Just checking the position of my needle. And we are all good. So I'm just dropping it up and down once. So yeah, that's all good.
Well, Jen, Arlene, hello Arlene.
Hello.
Says, love the idea of the foot for ribbons.
Do you?
So she's already happy about that.
I like that.
Nice to have time to watch and relax. Hope you've had a lovely Christmas. Arlene, you've obviously done your washing up from Christmas Day.
This is true.
I've still got a few loads to get through the dishwasher.
So before I start ruffling, I just want to show, because on the, I don't know if you can see on this section, you've got a couple of different gauges. You've got a 1, a 6 and a 12. So I'm currently in 1.
Yep.
But you can move it over to 6.
Yep.
Or you can move it over to 12.
Yep.
Or there's a star. Okay, so if I just go to 1, what that's going to be giving you is a really, really tight pleat. Super, super tight. So if I bring that like that.
Look at that.
So basically what it's essentially saying, I think it's every stitch, it will do a pleat for you.
Wow.
Right? So then when you go to 6, that's what you're getting
every
with
6
I think
stitches.
it's every 6th stitch. That's what it's going to create a pleat for you.
Nice.
And then the last one there is 12. So you start to see what we're doing there. So every 12th stitch, it will give you a pleat for you. And then the star is basically, we won't do any ruffling. It will just be a straight stitch. So in theory, if you're working on a project, like
you don't need to change the
You don't need to change the foot. You can just use it for your straight
ruffle,
stitching.
ruffle,
straight stitch.
straight stitch. Oh, that's good.
And you can actually change your ruffles as you're going. So you might, if for whatever reason you do want to have multiple, for whatever reason, you don't have to stop and start again. You can literally go from 12 to 6 to 1 to 12. You can do whatever you want.
Well, it could. I mean, we've done bags where they've had different sized
types,
ruffles and pleats. That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant.
It's good, isn't it?
This is crazy brilliant. Lucy Dorset says, "Morning, ladies. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Made my first dress for Christmas dinner. Oh,
Well
thank
done.
you.
Send a pic.
Oh yes.
Please send a picture.
Yes.
I'd love to see that.
She says, thank you for all the brilliant demos and tips. Learned lots from you. Going to order Jen's book.
Just order me. I want to come in
You're
the
just
post.
going to order Jen.
There is one other thing I just wanted to mention.
Yeah.
There's a little screw on the side here. Now, what that basically does is the depth of the dart. So if you want it shallow or quite a deep dart, you can also adjust that.
Okay, are we going to have a go with this?
Yeah, we are going to go.
Oh,
but
really?
there's so much to do. I want to, rather than, I'm trying to talk you through it step by step. So I'm going to take my fabric through.
I wasn't trying to hurry you, I just didn't know.
No, it's all right.
This is brilliant. I think we can all
So
agree.
what have we got on? We've got, let's go for a 6.
Jen, when we did the Great British Sewing Bee live,
Yes, darling.
thee and me, we had... Yeah, it's ruffling.
Okay, so that's the 6th one. Well done.
Oh, the bottom
Bobbin's
bobbin.
gone a bit awry, hasn't it?
Doesn't want to play. But look at what you can be doing. But we had at the Great British Sewing Bee,
Yeah.
we had an entire demo on how to make your own pleating and ruffle board.
Yes, yes.
And I mean that, which is great, but you've got to make it yourself. It'll
Oh,
only
this will take all
be it'll only be at
will take all the fuss out
the
of it.
size that you want. This is ace.
Oh yeah, sorry. So while it's off, I'll just show you. So the screw I was talking about is that,
Yeah.
and you can see there's a little number gauge on there. So it's reflecting. They can just see it's roughly there. So I think it goes from 1 to 8, and that, at the moment it's on 8.
Right.
So I'm presuming that's 8 mil. So if you want to make them a little bit shallower, then you take that down. So you not only can adjust how much you ruffle, but how deep those ruffles are. And then again, just quickly on the bottom here, it's this section here. That's where I fed the fabric through.
Right.
If you wanted it deeper, then you can pass it through that section there, but I'm literally going through that section there.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Do you want me to do a bit more ruffling, or are you good?
We're good because we've got lots of other things to look at, including the free motion.
The 3 motions.
Free motion, but
Right.
we get the idea. Thank you for bringing those in, because that really does show. the
Show,
different-
yeah.
Fab.
So just check your bobbins nice and clear before you start. I think that's the top tip on that one. Right then, so we've got our free motion quilting foot set.
This is for low shank machines.
Yes.
Now I didn't even know when it was when we bought the Westerly rulers, and our call centre have an
Yeah.
entire list of makes and models of machines, and whether you're high shank, low shank, mid shank, special shank, or all that sort of thing. I didn't know.
In,
So
out,
what on
shake
earth
it
is
all
that all about?
In, out,
Shank it all about. And so they still have that list at the call centre. So if you want this, just the majority of machines
Yep.
are low shank.
That's correct.
But double check.
Double
This
check.
isn't something I would just put in my basket and check out. This is something I would phone the call centre. It's free to do so, and just ask the question. Just say, look, Natasha says, blame me. Natasha says you have an
An amazing list.
Yeah, flatter them. They like that. An amazing list, and that you're very helpful, of all the different types
It's
of
true.
machines and whether you're high shank or low shank. Now, with this, you get loads.
You do get
What are we
those.
getting?
Okay, so first of all, you get what you would attach all of these onto, but you need to put that onto your machine first.
So you basically get a new shank.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
absolutely. Okay, so it's just where your little nut is on the side there, you'd be taking that whole thing off and you'd just be attaching it with that nut.
Okay.
So
Yes.
that's a really simple attachment, and that's that. However, at the moment, there isn't anything on it, okay? But you do get a selection of different feet. So you've got 3 different feet there.
Yeah.
And that's something else which we'll talk about in a second. So you need to attach whichever one you're wanting to use. So it depends on your preference, I suppose. So this one here is an open toe.
Right.
So I think this is a really good one if you, for instance, if I just get some fabric quickly. So if, for whatever reason, you have drawn a design
Oh yeah.
on your quilt,
Yes.
okay, with the open toe, you'll be able to see that design more clearly. Okay, as you go around.
Yes.
So that's why that was a good one for that one.
Yeah, good.
This one's your closed toe.
Right.
So if you're working over multiple layers, so I don't know if you're adding embellishes or more creative, artistic quilts where you're adding, different layers of fabrics or whatever, then this one, but probably better more so than that one because you're more likely to get caught up in
Oh,
that.
yeah, it would hook into
but this
things.
is obviously going to be different.
Glide over.
It will just glide over. So if you are working with that intricate, more detailed textural quilts, probably this one will be best for you.
Okay.
And then the next one here,
We like to call that the bullseye one. I'm
bullseye
sure
one.
it's possibly not quite called that, but we still like to call it the bullseye one.
exactly. So
Target.
I'm going to call it the target one. Okay. Where this one, it's the same process, but obviously it's got a clear front, so you can clearly see what you're doing. And as you've rightly said, you've got this bullseye grading on. So this is great for your echoing. So if we've done that line first, what you can then do is match that up with your red line and then echo exactly the same pattern as you go along. So that's for your echo quilting, whether it's straight stitching or more designed, intricate work.
And these are at 1/4 of an inch increments.
That's correct.
On there as well.
That's
so
correct.
you know your normal quilting sort of decimals, if you will. I think. Linda in Northamptonshire. Hello. She says, "Morning, ladies. Enjoying the show. Have treated myself to the prim trolley.
Ooh, it's a good one.
It is a good one.
It is a good one.
Everywhere.
It is a good one.
Happy New Year to you all at Sewing Quarter, says
to
Lynn.
you.
Well, thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
and to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So before we move on from that, it's just there's a little nut on the bottom of our little foot there. So obviously you take that nut off, and then you can place these on and then screw them in place. Okay. So it's don't lose that little nut on your fixture there.
Nice.
Okay. And then last but not least, if your machine doesn't have, you can drop the dog feeds. So on your machine, if I just take this off for a second, you've got these little teeth on the top here. That's basically grabbing the material as you go through.
Yes.
Okay. So when you're doing your free motion, ideally you want to be dropping these. Now
Dropping those feed
on this
dogs.
machine, there is a little switch on the very bottom there, and that drops the dog feeds for you. So in this case, I don't need that plate. However, if your machine at home doesn't have that functionality, but it has 2 little holes there, which you can see mine does, what that basically does, that you can drop that on top, and you've got essentially that flat plate to work on. Okay.
That's commonly known as a darning plate.
A darning.
And so it means you don't have to upgrade your machine.
No.
If your machine doesn't have feed dogs that you can drop, then it means you can you don't have to worry about, oh my goodness, I've got to spend £500 on a new machine before I can darn these socks. No, it's okay. You can just get this.
Yeah.
Much
So you've
easier.
got everything. Yeah. So you've got 3 feet, and then you've got your darning plate as well. Which
It's
is
a
just
big
brilliant.
old bundle.
It is a big bundle.
£65. Fab. Now, the last one, lots of you adding it into your baskets. Good for you.
Cha-ching.
Well, no, it's great, isn't it? Because, and now, especially because you've just explained to us why we need the 3 different feet. Perfect. Now, the other foot to discuss is this one. Now, excuse me. This is your border guide. Now, actually, can I steal that? Thanks. When I showed you this in the packet at the start of the show, I did say I am very aware that the guide on this is red, and they put it in a red packet, so you can't actually see why it's such a great foot. Now you can. There you go.
Yay!
Talk us through, Jen.
So basically, this is a really nice one again if you're going to be adding decorative features on there, especially if you would, like with this machine, you have an array of decorative stitches. Anything from stitch 22 through to 50 is decorative. But what you may not be able to do is get those nice lined up, uniformed, if you're not too confident with going in straight lines, this is the foot for you.
It is the foot for you. And also, if you don't have a walking foot with your machine, because walking foots often come with a guide, which means that you can then measure out from where your last line of stitching was. Now, if you haven't got that, and quite frankly, you can't be I'm lazy. Time is of the essence. That sounds better. Time is of the essence.
Time is of the essence.
Or you can't be bothered to just mark out and measure every single line.
Yes, you haven't got to worry about that. You haven't got to go and do your pen. You've got it in your foot.
Just line it up. Do the first one, and then just line it up. Yeah.
So let's just pop that on. So again, same function as all the other ones. Just drop it down.
Well, because also, if you want to do an echo quilt stitch, and you want to go in from that, and then you can use that as your...
Yeah, you could do.
And then you can echo it in, because some of the quilts that we get look gorgeous, and they've been echo quilted. It adds that extra bit of detailing in.
But I think where it really does come in, I mean, we will do that now, but where I think it really does come in is the decorative stitches. I think that's where it really just shines on itself. So I'm going to do a very, very quick decorative stitch. So let's just go with number 28.
Well, how lovely that you could quilt that and then add in a decorative stitch as an additional feature. Beautiful.
So I'm just using the first red line on my left, and I'm just lining it up with my stitch in the ditch line, which we did earlier. Okay, so I'm just going to go with a quick, what am I talking about? It's called a blanket stitch. That's what I'm looking for. Blanket stitch. So I'm going to do a quick blanket stitch, just turn him up. So I'm just using that red line there against that, where the two fabrics meet, and my stitch in the ditch line with my decorative stitch. So let's just stop there for a second. Okay, so there's our stitch done there. But let's just say that you wanted to do another line of stitching.
Yeah.
What you can then do is line it up with either of these lines.
Ah,
do you see what I mean? So that's where I feel that it really does come into its own there. So you know that you've got a nice uniform. So if you're doing lettering, for instance, as well.
Oh, nice,
I think this is a really, really good one.
That's a really good idea, because then you can space your lettering correctly. Oh, nice.
This is just a quick one there.
Very nice.
But I do think this is where that foot really comes into its own. So straight stitching, is an obvious one, but for me it's the decorative stitching, or if you have got the letter functions on your machine, then I think that's where it really, really does come into its own.
Look at that, lovely. It's like you could drive a train along there. They're so parallel.
Lovely.
Thanks,
so there's
Jen.
different spacing that obviously you can play around with that. So yeah, it's all there in the. I like it on the back. That's where it comes in its own. It's all on the back. It's all on the back. So if you forget what I've talked about, just go on the back.
Keep the packaging.
Keep the packaging.
And our last foot is
foot.
the beading foot.
Yes. There you
Over
go.
here.
So it comes with two different sizes. I always forget the sizes. So we've got a 2.5 to a 4, and this is mil, by the way, 2.5 to a 4 millimetre. So the narrow one is obviously for the 2 mil.
We've got a minute. What can you tell us about them?
Basically, all it's doing is just the sort of they come on like a train, don't they, on a big long length of string, effectively.
Yes.
So what you're doing is you're feeding it through. So you've got two little valleys there, one in the front and one in the back, and it will just basically be guiding those through. So then you're stitching them through. So if you've got your beads, it just makes it so much easier. Obviously, you'll be using a zigzag stitch to stitch these in. But what they're doing is holding those beads in place. They're not wiggling around all over the place, because the last thing you want is broken needles. So it just helps guide that process through super quick. So again, if you happen to have, I don't know, a son or a daughter who do ballroom and you do their costumes, then this is invaluable for you.
Well, do you know what? That's how one of our guests even got into it, was because of her daughter doing that. Yeah,
they're so expensive. So again, it comes in two different size feet. So you've got your different size beads on there, zigzag stitch. Off
Brilliant.
you go.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Now you're back in an hour.
I am.
We're doing an hour.
Oh, we're doing some nice little electrical good coverings.
Devices.
Which I'm sure you all had devices for Christmas, so let's take care of them with some nice fabrics and some nice holders.
Basically, it's a great excuse to use your fabric and create something useful.
Yes.
Hurrah! Thanks very
Hurrah!
much.
See you in a bit.
Now, Lynn's already treated herself. Good on you, Lynn. This is the Prim Large sewing trolley bag. You can put your sewing machine in here. It's plenty room enough. And the machine that we had in here earlier, there was still room around it, so you can fit bigger machines in. Did I fit an overlocker? I did in here the other day, didn't I? Yeah, I fit an overlocker in there. And you can see those two black things down the bottom. They're straps, so you can Velcro your machine in no matter what the size, so that it doesn't wiggle and jiggle around. But all sides here are nicely padded. And also you've got lots of pockets all over the place. Handles on both sides. How often have you tried to pick up from there and then it's gone a mess? Handles on both sides. Now remember, it's 1 P&P today. Well, it's 1 P&P every day, isn't it? That's how we roll here. So check out your baskets as many times as you like, and we will only charge you one lot of P&P per day, which is just £2.95. Now, lots of you are going for this cheeky little number today, which is 32 different coloured threads on the stand. So we've already solved your storage issues for you. Let's face it, for a long time I used to go to my thread drawer. It was just a mess. And it used to put me off even starting a project, because it was just, I had to untangle stuff before I even started. So don't Don't be like that. Be like this and be organised. $59.99 for 32 threads and the stand. That's cracking value. These are all Guttman threads as well, by the way. Not any old threads. Guttman, great quality. Lovely. For $59.99. Lots of you with that in your baskets. Please check out. Do not miss out. The most popular foot is the stitch and the ditch foot. Thank you, Jen, for brilliantly explaining these for us. Very clear, very, very lovely, nice and easy. It's demystifying, isn't it? You know, I'd go into a shop, look at these and be scared and run away, or loiter and hope that someone might come and explain it to me. None of that. We've got Jen. She's done it for us. This is your ditch quilting foot. And that is your stitch and the ditch foot, basically. And that's the very first one that Jen showed us. So if you missed it, you can always watch back, or when you get it, just make a note of today's date and go to YouTube and put in sewing quarter and today's date, and you can see how she's used that again. $18.99 there for that one. Do we want to recap any of the other ones, or are we nearly? Which one would you like to look at? Next most popular? Oh, it's the ribbon. Oh, I'm really pleased that you're loving the ribbon. For me, the game changer was realising that if you stabilise your ribbon, you could personalise your ribbon. Amazing. As well as just stitching a ribbon on. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. $19.99. Come on, be honest. How many times have you tried to sew on ribbon and pinned it? Oh, no, don't pin your ribbon. It's really annoying. Get this instead. $19.99. You don't have to anymore. No pinning. It's time saving. Brilliant. Now this was one of the last ones that we looked at, but it's a really good one. Really good. This is your border guide one. So you can see you've got border guides both sides. Sort of in red. It's tricky to see, isn't it, when it's in the packet. $26.99. But it means that if you don't have a walking foot with a guide, or if you don't have a project that needs a walking foot, but you do still want that guide, then you've got it, and you don't have to draw out all your measurements. Handy, handy, handy. Now, after the break, winter sale. It's the only winter sale hour today, so don't miss us. We'll join you in a minute.
Hello everyone, I just wanted to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. I'm sorry I'm missing you in December. I'm currently down in Epsom playing Cinderella during panto season. So wishing you all a very magical Christmas. I'm being kept very busy by my stepsisters. I'm doing sweeping and sewing and goodness knows what else. So, got my...
Come along, Cinders, you've got a ball to get to. Pick up those fat quarters and let's go. Come on.
See you soon.
Follow us on Pinterest. Search for our Sewing Quarter page and follow us to discover sewing work we create and love.
The Sewing Quarter website is simple and easy to use. You can view a live broadcast of the show on our homepage. Get instant access to our online shop, which has a wide range of wonderful products for you to choose from. You can also enjoy a selection of projects and guides which we have on offer to help you enhance your skills and gain valuable tips. Watch the live shows and you can buy the product which is currently being shown on air. You can even message the studio to ask our presenters or team any questions you might have. Below, you'll find all the products from today's show for you to look at and purchase. On the right of the screen, next to today's products, you will find our simple program guide listing all upcoming shows. So, join us today at sewingquarter.com.
As soon as you place an order with us, we get to work on making your shopping experience that extra bit special. Our warehouse team pick your items and cut your fabric with the greatest care and precision. Cut fabric is neatly folded and packed in a tissue paper-lined presentation box. And when we're satisfied that it's just perfect, it gets the Sewing Quarter seal of approval. So whether you're giving a gift or treating yourself, you can shop with confidence, knowing your Sewing Quarter purchases will arrive in style.
Happy holidays. I hope you enjoy your celebrations and I wish you all a very happy new year.
Happy holidays!
Hello, my name's Jess Entwistle and these are my 3 top tips. My first top tip is number 1, iron as you go. Always press because you will never regret it, but you always will if you don't. Top tip number 2, use small stitches. The smaller the stitches, the stronger the join in your fabric. Tip number 3, it's only fabric. If you make a mistake, it doesn't matter. Start again or change your direction.
Welcome back. Now, this is our only winter sale hour of the day. We've brought you loads of winter sale shows with fabric at up to 40% off, but we haven't done yet for you all the other bits and bobs that we sell for you. So, embroidery floss. Let's think about that for a moment. The beautiful embroidery floss. Not all floss is created equal, and we stock an absolutely gorgeous line called Sublime Stitchery. Now this is Sublime floss, and this is your fruit salad. They're absolutely delicious. And when I say that all embroidery flosses aren't, or skeins, whatever you want to call them, basically the same thing, it's in terms of that luminosity, that luster that you get. So this is your fruit salad. It's a picnic basket full of edible colours, just for you, just from me. I'm going to open that and look at this. Now this was $7.99. This is your Rolls Royce of embroidery floss. Look at the gorgeous luster on there, and just that palette is exquisite. Was $7.99. We've taken £2 off that price, which is incredible value for the Rolls Royce of these. Just beautiful. That's 25% off. Now these are all very, very lovely. What I would say is if you aren't putting these into like an organized box or something, do try and keep these on, because each one has a little personalization. So you can have the cherry, and that's, you've got all of these little things. What rhymes with mandarin? And just little quirky things. So not only are they beautiful threads, but they're a bit entertaining as well. They're just enjoyable to use all the way through. So they're absolutely gorgeous colours. Just look how that is going to gleam on your work. What a fabulous colour palette. And that's what Sublime stitching is all about. Or I can't put that packet back together. It's got sticky bits and all sorts. Oh, can I do it? Can I do it? Can I? No, turns out I really can't. Now, here we go. The next one is your Laurel Canyon. So these are 6-ply, 100% cotton. The designer's name is Jenny, but just look at those beautiful colours. Absolutely exquisite. So this is your California Cabin Colours. Very beautiful. Was $7.99. Again, £2 off the price there. What a fabulous colour palette that is. I'm not going to open all these up because we've just seen quite clearly I can't get them all back in the packet. But you can see already, look at the luster on there. You're going to have to be quick. Limited stock on these. We've taken £2 off the price. This is just crazy. You're already popping them in your basket. This is your parlour. Oh, I love this one. So if you... the designer describes these, Jenny describes these, and I'm just going to, there, look at this, as your absinthe-soaked and velvet-cloaked colours, which I think is wonderful. Although I've always been too scared to try absinthe. I know what it did to Van Gogh. So $5.99, was $7.99, down to $5.99, XJHN60. That's your code there. Lots of you putting them in the basket. It's an amazing saving. We've never, ever taken any money off these before, ... ever. Oh, the portrait. If you are doing anything with skin tones or anything else like that in, you need to pop this in your basket. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? So if you want to get that detail, with your skin tones. So this is lip gloss and smoky eyes. Cosmetic colours just for you. $7.99? No. These are $5.99 now. £2 off the price. 25% off. Fabulous pricing. Brilliant pricing. FMHN70. Make the most. Maybe you're going to give this a go. I have in my workroom, I have 2 boxes of embroidery threads, and I have one, and it's written on the top, cheap, and I have one which is really expensive, and you know, sort of super swanky things, and they would be in the super swanky top of the game threads. So, which one? Oh, this one, the portrait one. Oh, this is just brilliant if you're doing anything. So, well, you've got everything from sort of your pastel floral colours through to your skin tones, but it is just really limited now. So please put that in your basket and check out. That's $5.99 as opposed to $7.99, so a lovely saving. We like that. We do like that an awful lot. Yeah. Oh, we've had a message from Catherine. Hello. Oh, you're after overlocker thread. Yes, we do overlocker thread. Check out the website. Just put in overlocker thread, and we've got all your basic colours in there, your greys, your blacks, your navies, your whites, your creams. It's all on there. So go and take a look at that, and it's all Gutermann fabulous, and it comes in 1,000-metre spools. So yeah, they're there. Right, what else? Oh, now, of course, we now need something to embroider. And the one thing that I hear from so many of you is, I'm not artistic. I'm not, I just, you know, I can't come up with designs to embroider, to stitch. And well, don't worry, because Alison Glass, who is brilliant at all that kind of stuff, has come up with this little design. Look at that saving. Look at that. Yes, £5.40 off the price of this. Yes, please. So that's 30% off. So this is what it looks like sewn. Really beautiful. Isn't that lovely? So you see, you can see when you use beautiful threads, how gorgeous that looks. So, you know, if you don't want to be the designer yourself, and you can see just how big that is, then it doesn't matter. Can I open this and show you? This is basically to stitch a pretty embroidery sampler. That's what you're getting here. You can then turn it into a fun needle book. But the design is pre-printed on. So when I open it up for you, you can see here, there we go, we'll come in for this, don't you worry. It's all on there, ready to go. So all you have to do is put that in an embroidery hoop and start stitching. Now, the nice thing about this is that on the back here, it gives you the different stitches that she recommends. So along there, those little dots should say do that in a French knot. That up there, that's a running stitch. So you've got these guides. And again, it is a guide. You don't have to do it exactly as you want, but it does have that guide and a turtle. So you can do all of that. And there it is for you to just, maybe you're learning, maybe you just want a nice project, but there it is. Beautiful. Oh, she's beautiful. She's just dropping it all over the place. Ready for you to go. And then you've got your own Alison Glass embroidery. Fabulous. And you also get full instructions in there, how to do your stitching, and then how to make it up into a stitch book, should you wish. So all of that. Yeah, no, it's very comprehensive, really comprehensive. So if you do want to make it up into a little needle keeper or anything like that, she shows you exactly how to do that. There you go. Fabulous. So that's, yeah, £5 off that. Fabulous. Do it, do it, do it. Oh no, it's these sticky bits. They always get me. Right, okay, now I've done it. Oh, look, I'm getting better. Right, next one. So along the same lines is this one here. So this is more inspiration. This is Flowers number 2 from Alison Glass. Now here you basically stitch again, you're going to stitch that pre-printed flower and then you turn it into fun projects. So they then have function and form, that's what we like. And look at that again, over £5 off the price, £5.40 off the price. So what Alison says is that you can turn this into 3 projects because you get 3 project patterns included in here, like we just looked at the instructions for the other. So you get a stitch guide, useful hints, tips, everything like we had before. So, and then on the back, it gives you ideas as to how you can use it. So if you want to have it as a cushion or if you want to have it as a wall hanging. Now this is flowers 2, which suggests there's a flowers 1, and there are both of them there. It's lovely, isn't it, to have it as a wall hanging? Just something a little bit different, beautiful colours. And of course, get those, this is where you need, you see, those super special threads, isn't it? This is where you need those super special floss. They are selling, by the way, incredibly fast. Now, the last Alison glass is here. Now, we only have 6 of these. This is a little bit different because you can do this, if you wish, with wool and make it as a wool applique patterned piece. So instead of £11.99, it's £8.39. So basically what you're getting is a great way to practice your embroidery or wool appliques, or a combination of the two. So you can start to be a little bit of the designer if you wish. And then, so the pattern's got an 11 by 17 inch sheet of black line work. And you get instructions for 10 stitches, plus details on how to do your wool applique. Now, what you have with this is that sheet of black line work means that you can use it to trace. So you would iron transfer, so it's slightly different from the other ones. You iron transfer, should I just open it and show you? Would that be easier? We've only got 6 left of these, so you need to add this to your basket. But what you're getting in here, I mean, look, the detailing in here is fab. So you get lots of transfer tips, details about wool applique, but also all your different stitches that she's recommending that you use. She's also giving you tips and hints and everything else on the back. But what you get with this isn't the actual fabric, which is what you had with the other 2 kits. But with this one, this is a massive, great big design. Look how big that is. So that's 11 inches by 17 inches. And then you use your iron to transfer that onto the fabric that you then want to embroider or wool applique onto, which is great. And it means that you can use this multiple times depending on how heavy you want that transfer to be. So that's absolutely brilliant. So you could do like a couple of cushions with that, maybe. But we've only got 6 of those, and lots of you adding it to the basket. So please check out your baskets. Please, please, please. Do not miss out. You know what else you could use this with? And that is the silk work that we've got later. So we'll go and have a look at those in just 1 minute. But anything where you've got that transfer, and we've got alphabets and stuff to transfer as well, which I'll show you in just 1 minute, is brilliant for doing your silk work, which we'll look at in just 1 moment. Now, what are we looking at next? Oh, the cupcakes, here we go. So this is your freestyle embroidery kit. Now this is slightly different. So this kit contains your anchor stranded cotton, so you don't have to have that separately, your printed linen as well. So that's what you're going to be stitching up a treat. And on the back there, you can see there's your linen, all pre-printed, and you also get your stranded thread in there ready to go. So a wonderful gift for someone. How much have we taken off there? £7.40 off the price of this. That's almost 40% off. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But if you want this, then maybe this is for you. This is for your starters. So if you're just starting out, look how much thread you get, then you're not incurring any additional cost to anyone because it's there ready to go. You've got the thread, you've got the linen, and you are good to go for £11 and 9 pence, a smidge over £10. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yeah. I like that. Like that lot. Fab. Lots of you adding it to your baskets, but of course, we don't have loads, so please check out your baskets. Make sure you're getting the item that you want. Treat yourself, you deserve it. Uh-oh. Now, other embroidery kits for you. Let me grab these. Now, we haven't seen these, have we? Not for a little while. So this is easy enough for beginners. And what you're getting in here is printed cotton fabric, die-cut polyester felt shapes, pre-sorted cotton thread. You get the needle and you get instructions so that you can make that. Was $15.99, but we've given you a 40% saving on this. 40%, that's just crazy. But you can see in there, crazy, crazy, crazy talk. There's your thread. You also get your needle. Look, it's all printed on there. Plus, you get your die-cut things so you're starting to move into the realms of what embroidery art, isn't it? It's that mixed media. If you're starting to add different elements in. So for £9.59, a saving of over £5, well, £5.40. It's amazing. That's amazing value. What a lovely gift for someone. Even if it is for yourself. What about this one? Maybe you want to get a pair. Then why not? Why not? Again, there's going to be a crazy price on this one as well. And again, with this one, you get your printed cotton fabric, you get your die-cut polyester felt shapes. Limited stock on this one. You also get your pre-sorted cotton thread, your needle, and your instructions. If you don't know what I mean by die-cut polyester felt shapes, they're just pre-cut shapes. That's all, and they're just very accurately cut with a die. Now I've got another, oh, Carol, hello, Carol. She says, morning, oh, loving the program. I have just got the Sashko book. Oh, well done. Can I use the candy floss threads? Yes, yes. What a lovely idea, yes. And it's an absolute treat. So with your Sashko, you can, because you decide how big you want your design to be, how intricate you want it to be, these are stranded cotton threads. So that means that it comes 6 strands in there. So you decide if you want it really thick, then you'd use all 6 strands, or you just do any amount. So 1 or 2 or 3. It's entirely up to you. Just divide up your threads. So it's a 6-stranded thread with that. We've also used pearl thread, which is just 1 thread, but this is your stranded cotton thread. So for $7.99, no. Let's reduce that to $5.99. We've taken £2 off the cost of all of those. So if you do love your Sashko, and if you want to have a go with different colours and really bring things to life with an absolutely exquisite floss, these are the ones for you. They're just gorgeous. They're my favourites. Now, alphabet you up, Producer Paul. Yes, I certainly will. Now, here we go. This is for you. Look at that. Love life, live well, love you back. Oh, and life will love you back even. Helps if I read it back to front, upside down on the screen. Love life and life will love you back. 40% off. Yes, yes, yes. You get your thread. You get everything in there. So this is your love life and embroidery. Well, that's a whole different show, isn't it? But you're getting your pre-sorted thread, your printed muslin fabric, your needle, and your instructions. This is all designed by Pam Garrison. And that's all ready to go. So just pop it in a hoop and start stitching. Yay! Brilliant. Helps if I can read it. It's the joy of being a bit dyslexic. All sorts of fun things come up. Now, what are we going to look at next? Do I want to grab the, oh, yes. Now, if you've got these gorgeous threads, then why not? Do you remember when you learned to stitch? We were talking about this the other day. When you learned to stitch, a lot of people at school would learn through a grid, and then you'd have the pre-cut holes to go in and out of. But what about 40% off these embroidery boxes? So then you do the pattern, you decide how you want to do it. For under £2.50, you get not just one to play with. And look, it's like the Russian doll of embroidery boxes. Yeah! Look at those. So you can stitch all around there, make them look absolutely gorgeous. Or maybe you want to give them to the grandkids to do and have a play with. And then they've got some beautiful at the end of it for just £2.39. That is great value. It's brilliant, isn't it? Cracking, cracking. For just £2.39. Huh? You can use them as storage, yeah. Stitch them up, use them as storage. Beautiful. Bit of jewellery in there. Little memory boxes. There you go. We were talking the other day about things that you keep sort of nice and safe. And people keep all sorts of funny things, don't they? But you can have them now in a beautiful box that you can hand embroider, which is absolutely lovely. Now, the other thing that you could put your textile pens and things in there, but if we're talking about teaching people to stitch and how to do stitching, this is absolutely fabulous, because here, or maybe you run a craft group or an after school group or something like this. Here you're getting 16 of these pre-cut hole hearts. So you can give these to the kids, get them some thread and get them stitching. 40% off. Just under £5, you've got 16 of these, either to do for yourself or to give to the kids to do, but just 16 of these for £4.79. It's incredible value for money, absolutely incredible. It's got a few little ideas here as to what you could be doing, but these have never been in our winter sale before, and here they are. So this is a great way to teach the kids how to get going with all these things. Now, the actual card that this is on is 400 GSM, so it's a nice heavyweight card, not suitable for under 3s, but what about if you've got kids or whatever and they want to do these for granny, grandma, stitch it up ready for Valentine's Day, and then you've got something absolutely perfect. Then you could stitch through there and hang it. Just lovely. So lots of different designs. They can stitch their name in. It's entirely up to you. You've got 16 different ones to play with. Get your embroidery floss, get going. Lovely, lovely, lovely. It's funny actually, because my 3-year-old came home from school and they'd sort of had a hole punch in a piece of card, and he'd got some wool, and he was having a lovely time just playing with it. For a 3-year-old, he was already enjoying that. So imagine slightly older kids having a good go with this and actually learning their stitches. It's a lovely way to get them to learn their stitches and actually have something, because they're properly spaced, have something that looks incredible and really professional by the time that they're finished. That will encourage them to do more, I think. It's my personal opinion. Now, right, how about doing some of these stitching things, and then do you want to hang them on the wall or do you want to gift them? Sometimes these are going to be the gift that you make and that is super, super special, in which case why not put them in the cards? Now at Christmas time we had Sashko kits where you could do a little bit of Sashko and then pop it into a card. So what I've got for you here is, and these are all reduced as well, are your well, let's start over here. This is your rectangular aperture A5 3-fold cards. Now, you've got 10 in here, and the code is MZCP96. Now, when I say 3-fold, I'm going to open this up and show you one, okay? It means that the gubbins, your workings, are hidden. We've taken 40% off. So even if you're not into card making yourself, but you know someone who is, just tell them, hey, look, grab this. This is your 3-fold, okay? So there it is there. So you'd put your embroidery in the front there, and then you've got that flap there, which you can just put a little bit of glue on or not bother at all, just have it there. And that just means that when you open up the card, you don't see the back of your work, so you don't have to be super neat and tidy. But look at that price, just £2.39 for 10 3-fold A5 embroidery aperture cards for your embroidery. Or anything else that you choose to do, it's entirely up to you. Brilliant, that is incredible value. As someone who has worked previously in the card industry, that is a great price. £2.39, and it's a hammered card as well. So it's already got a little bit of texture in there. So if you want to get your inks out and distress it a little bit, then you can. But it's lovely, really lovely. And there we go. We've got that for you. So that's one of them for you. We've also got that in a cream. Maybe you're doing wedding invites, something like this. CQCP94. And again, this is A5, so this is a great size and just an incredible price. I was just looking to see what GSM, but it doesn't actually say what GSM. I would say it's about 280 GSM if you're into your card weight, but I can't guarantee that because it doesn't say actually on here. But having a feel of it, I would say it's about 280 GSM. Producer Paul, have you got that detail? Oh, it's 300 GSM. Oh, it's heavier. Yeah, you see, because often with the hammered, it feels like a heavier weight. So there we go. That's 300 GSM, that's a lovely, lovely heavy weight. Now you're getting 10 in here. That is basically 24 pence per card and envelope, because all the envelopes are in there. Half the stock already gone on this. Already gone. CQCP94. I knew some of you were secret crafters. Now let's have a look. Right, this one here is your A6 3-fold oval in white. So Producer Paul, your code is TYCP70. There it is. And you're getting 10 of these again. That lovely classic oval, 40% off. All of these cards that I'm going to show you, 40% off. Just incredible. And again, 300 GSM for you there. Just incredible value for money. Absolutely fab. We like. And again, this is your 3-fold oval, 10 in there, plus your envelopes, and you are good to go. So do some beautiful, pretty embroidery in there, pop it in, lovely, personalised card, bosh, off you go. Limited on those. Now, maybe you want the A6 3-fold square aperture, KSCP24. Here they are again. And again with these, what I like about these actually is that you've got square, and that's quite, you don't have to do lots and lots and lots of embroidery, so the aperture here isn't huge, but what you can then put along the bottom there is a ribbon and a bow, something like that, to really make it special. Now maybe if you got the ribbon feeder off the earlier show, then you could embroider someone's name, or if you're doing it for a new baby, their name and their date of birth, and personalize that ribbon. If you got that ribbon foot from the earlier show, you could do that. But look, 40% off here. Was £3.99 down to £2.39. That is silly money, but it's ever so beautiful. Maybe you want to put a photo in there. It's entirely up to you what you're doing with it, but how absolutely wonderful. So £2.39. If you want to have a look at these, let me just show you what I mean. Again, of course, this is what, 24 pence per card and envelope. An envelope, which is fab. So there it is, 300 GSM, lovely sturdy cardstock, and it's 3-fold. So you've got that can hide all your gubbins. You could put your fabric in there. Maybe you've got some of the threads fabric that you can print onto, and then you could just put a little printed something in there and embroider over the top. Just highlight little pieces. That would look gorgeous. And then a little ribbon or something across there and a bow, or maybe you want to write a little message on there. It's entirely up to you. But for £2.39, everybody should have one. But you do need to check out baskets because they're going super quick. That's all I would say. And why not? Because anybody that's done any sort of card craft knows that this is an incredible price. Lots of you multi-buying, and I really don't blame you. I absolutely don't blame you. Now, a lot of you will want to work with a textured hammered finish, and we've got the oval in that textured hammer card finish as well. So this, if I just took that, well, I'll get one out and show you. This code is AFCP82. Now, what do I mean by, I don't want to assume that anyone has any knowledge here. So this is your hammered card. If I just hold that there, can you see it's got that hammered texture on there? Maybe you're doing christening invites, wedding invites, something like that. Then you could embroider the date, something like that maybe, and have that on the front. But that's the hammered texture. And again, you can have it that way. You can have it that way. You could put a picture in there. It's lovely, but that's what the aperture's for. And that's why it's a threefold. So you can get cheaper ones which aren't threefold. And then as soon as you open it up, whatever you've stuck in there, they see. But this just discreetly covers all of that. Now, you can have it, you can pop a little line of glue on there if you want to just keep it from anyone seeing it, or just have it so that actually when they open it, you know, they don't need to see it. But £2.39. So 10 of these. This is just, well, I'm rounding up, 24 pence per card and envelope. I'm just thinking about thank you cards for my son for all his wonderful gifts at Christmas. Maybe he can do one of his amazing drawings. And I could just stick a little bit in there. And off we go. Job done. And then it's a little personalised something that people can pop on the side. A little bit of Freddie's early art. But 40% off. This is incredible. Maybe you want to do this for Christmas. You see, this is it. We say that, but for me, this is about the gift. It's when a card becomes more than just a card. This is when a card becomes part gift as well. It's special. I handmade every single one of my Christmas cards, and I do every year. And the number of people that actually. Well, how many people thank you, actually, you know, send you a message and go, oh, just got your card, it's lovely, thank you so much. It's inviting that extra bit of correspondence, isn't it? It's just inviting that extra bit of special love and care. So maybe you've got a special anniversary that you're stitching for someone. Maybe you've got a christening. Maybe you've got wedding invites that you're sending out, or whether it's just a super special thank you. Because if someone's gone to the trouble of giving you something, you know, they don't have to, then it's nice to always thank, isn't it? Yeah. So these are yours in cream. Now, again, this will depend on what you're stitching on. If you want something that can feel a little bit more shabby chic, is just a little bit softer, then you go for that hammer card, for the cream. Now, this is 300 GSM, and this is your trifold oval. Here we go, let me just get that out. And it is... there you go, this is hammered again. Now, limited on this. But can you just see that texture there? That's what I mean by hammered. It always reminds me of that very expensive paper that I used to look at and go, oh yeah, you know, really expensive writing paper. Back in the days when people used to actually write letters. I'd be like, yes, that's the paper that I want to use. But this is your, there you go. This is your ivory. So it's that softer feel. And again, trifold in that oval. So it just frames beautifully anything that you're doing. Maybe you want to then faux stitch around there and add a little border or a frame in. It's entirely up to you. Now, I tell you what, if you went for the, I'm just trying to find which one it is, this one, if you went for this, now over half of this stock has gone already. Now, this is the embroidery one where you transfer. So you could just transfer a little bit of it and embroider that and put it in your card. Just an idea. Producer Paul's going to check how many we've got left of those, because I don't want to be teasing you with something we're not awkward. Oh, very low stock. So if you like that idea of just taking a little element of that and stitching it up, maybe a couple of the flowers and the bee, then, you know, you go for it. Now, one of these card stocks has already sold out. The very first one, the 10 by 8, the A5 rather, well done, that one's gone. Right, good, next one. I've got 4 more to show you and then we're moving on. This is your A6 3-fold rectangular aperture and the code GRCP52. There it is. Now this is plain, this isn't a hammer card, this is just your 300 GSM. 40% off. Now, I don't care if you card craft or not, you will know someone that does. Buy it for them because they will be so grateful, because cardstock is notoriously expensive and yet you can't make a card without it. And also, just Anybody that has ever tried to do any kind of paper crafting will know how difficult it is just to get those rounded edges and get them exactly the same. Unless you have expensive die cutting equipment and dies. I know I've lost already a lot of you just because you're like, I don't even know what a die is. Well, look, basically it's a piece of cutting equipment, but without it, you're going to really struggle to get that beautiful curved edge there. So this is a great way to start off with a professional look before you even put anything in there. So this is £2.39, 24 pence basically per card and envelope, 300 GSM. That is very heavyweight cardstock. So you can go anywhere from kind of 260 plus for card, 280, but 300. That's a really good heavyweight cardstock. Now, if you like that design, but you want it in ivory, then the code HCCP80. And again, all of these are threefold, and all of them 300 GSM. That's the weight of the card, and most importantly, it's 40% off, which is just crazy. Crazy. You can tell management on it, can't you? 40% off here, 40% off there, yeah. Why not? £2.39 for 10 of these. 10. HCCP80 now. If you've added this to your basket, please do remember to check out. Now, this isn't like other craft channels where you get charged P&P per item and then it's capped at, what, $6.99? No. Our P&P is $2.95 per day. You can check out as many times as you like. A lot of you, producer Paul sitting up there looking at the list of names of people who are buying, and he's saying a lot of the same names coming through, so well done to you, making the most of these, knowing that you can check out as many times as you like, and we're not going to sting you on postage. It's only $2.99 P&P per day. Per day. We've got 2 more to go. So if you like that hammer card finish, producer Paul has just done exactly what I've done for years and years. Every time anyone says hammer card, in my head I go, hammer time. No, it's hammer card. Hammer card. Let's have a look so you can see that hammer card. Now, this is limited stock as well. Here we go. It's no secret that I came from a crafting channel, so if there's something I know about, it's my card stock, very much so. And this is great quality. There you go. So you can have it that way up. So you can have it landscape, you can have it portrait, but again, you've got that threefold. And it's even hammered, textured on the inside. So this hammered textured card is wonderful because it's hammered textured on the outside. Can you see? There you go. So it's hammer textured on the outside. So that's the back of the card. That's the front of your card. But then where it's folded, when you open it, you get that hammered texture there. But where you write, it's smooth. So they've really thought it out. So that's your A6 size. That's a lovely size because you're not having to embroider too much. Oh, producer Paul would put a photo of the family in there with Happy Christmas, Merry New Year, all those sorts of things. It's just personalising, isn't it? But that's just producer Paul, who I don't believe sent any cards this year. Now, one little different one. Now we're going to A7, which is quite an unusual size to actually be able to get hold of. But I'm thinking Easter cards with this particular one, and I'll show you why. Oh my gosh, no! £1.49. Now, 40% off, you are getting, and these are very sweet, so I'm thinking Easter here, £1.49 for your pastel cross-stitch cards. So these are specifically made for your cross-stitching, for those smaller projects that take longer, don't they? And what you're getting is 4 different coloured pastel cards in here. And again, trifold, because it's for that cross-stitch. You don't necessarily want to see all your finishings off and everything. So pop it in there. And there you go. So I'm thinking Easter. These are going to be beautiful for Easter, aren't they? And you've got time as well. That's the other thing. You've got time to make these things for before Easter. Beautiful. For £1.49. They're gorgeous, aren't they? Yeah, they're the colours. So you get 4 different pastel colours in there for £1.49. These are specifically for your they're billed as being cross-stitch cards. They're basically just a small aperture. So whether it is for a little photo in there, or whether you're going to be doing some embroidery to put in there, it's up to you. It's up to you. But they're just lovely and fabulous mementos. Just great. Absolutely great. It is really lovely to do that, and it just means, I mean, I'm thinking for Freddie's thank you cards, to get him to do some of his drawings, and then I can sort of frame them. You see Robin, our cameraman today, he's nodding. You've got little ones, haven't you? People don't necessarily want, he's about the same age as Freddie, he's 3, isn't he? Yeah. They don't necessarily want the whole A4 extravaganza. You can then pick the best bit, the feature bit. But you do need to check out, okay, because these are going to go quickly. Well, we've already had sellouts. Producer Paul, are there any other sellouts that you would like to update me on? He's going to update me in just one moment. Oh, now! Silk scarves. We've only got 15 minutes left. Where's that gone? Well, I never. Right. Would you like chiffon or, oh, well, here you go. So your silk chiffon. We've got 2 different sizes for you today. So these are both silk scarves. What are we doing with silk scarves? You may ask yourself, well, you can embroider in them, or you can silk paint. These are for, what? 40% off. So I'm going to show you this one. This is 35 by 130 centimeters. It's a beautiful, lightweight silk chiffon scarf. Really gorgeous. And this is £5.39. I can't believe we've taken 40% off here. £5.39. But I just want you to bear with me for one moment, because that is a scarf. But what about personalizing it and doing something gorgeous like that on it? How about that? Now maybe, now here's a thought, you want to take some of that silk, bear with me, because I've just had a thought. What about there? So what about, we'll get onto the silk paints in just one moment, but what about silk painting on, I mean, the scarf is just, it's the silk that you need to silk paint onto. And then you can back that in your aperture cards and have something exquisite. So, you know, because the first thing that you're going to want to do is touch and go, oh my gosh, that's silk, that's amazing. But this is £5.39. That's what the silk scarf looks like there. But you can, when we've used it, we've cut it and put it into embroidery hoops, and you can have that hanging up if you're neating up the edges around there. So you could have it as sort of art. The other thing to say about this is that if you put it against a dark background, let me put it against my top there, it changes the feel of the paints. I'm going to get onto these paints in just one moment. Okay. We've got 2 different size silk scarf for you, but if you're using these for scarves, that's great. If you just want to have a white silk scarf, hello, amazing price. Then the other one is 55 by 55 centimeters. So this is one that I would maybe just fold in half and have a neckerchief. £3.59 there. And this is 55 centimeters by 55 centimeters. That's probably the most boring shot you could possibly have of a folded up silk scarf. Can I get it out, or have we got another picture? I'm gonna get it out. I need you to see how exquisite this fabric is. If only I can find. So what I would say is, you might be thinking, well, that's a funny size for a silk scarf, but what about having it as a silk handkerchief? So you have that option as well. and it's absolutely beautiful. Lots of you multi-buying here. £3.59. The other thing that I would say, because I've just showed you how different it looks when it's with the silk painting, when it's up against different coloured fabrics, there is absolutely no reason why you can't silk paint onto this and then put that over a coloured fabric and make it into a cushion front. Just beautiful, because that's a really handy size. Or just do it like that. I've got to be really careful of my mic and sort of have it, you know, just underneath. Looks like more of a bib, doesn't it? Or maybe you want it as a headscarf, or I don't know, whatever you're going to be doing with it. Or you can decorate it, like I say, and maybe have little bits, and there you go. You could then, look how many cards you could do. Now how many cards? Okay, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8 of the biggest size, 9, 10, maybe 11 in there, of the largest size card that we had. Now you might be wondering, so you can embroider into that, that's no problem at all, but what about silk painting? Now we had a lovely show with Tilly Rose where she showed us how to do silk painting. And I have to say that I did a show with this, and I'd never ever silk painted before, and I was thrilled by how easy it is. So this is Tilly's silk paint, and she just freestyled this. She just drew it on and off she went. But you don't have to. So if you got, for example, something like that, where you can then transfer on, or the silk actually you can trace through, so you can trace patterns onto there or whatever. But the first thing that you need if you're silk painting is this. So the gold that she's used is your gutta. Now your gutta is the very first thing that you would use. So you use that as your outline, and that will hold the silk within it. So as long as you finish your sort of, so say you wanted to have a circle, as long as you finished off that circle so that it was complete, then the silk paint won't bleed outside of that. It's kind of like a security stopper that's not going any further. So you can see what I mean here. This is your gold here. So this is the outline, and that's complete. And so then she's just dropped a tiny bit of ink in there, and there, and it's all spread and gone. So you don't have to be an artist. You have to be able to trace a pattern, just do it with a pencil and then go over it with your gutta, and then be able to just drop a splash of ink in. Now there are other techniques, and if you Google them, then you can. Salt will repel it, so you can get lovely sort of mottled effects by just popping, literally just grinding some salt over the top, and that gives a whole other lovely effect. But your starting point is your gutta. That's your gold. We've got it in silver as well. Now we're limited on all of these. Have we taken a discount on these? Oh yeah, of course we have. Of course we have. We'll work out how much in a minute. £2.39 was £3.99. Oh, that's got to be heading up towards 40%, isn't it? Yeah, it is 40%. That's incredible. So if you're starting this off, if you just want to do a little bit, then get going. Maybe you want to give this as something to do with the kids, but you need a gutta to start off with. Okay, so I've got the black one here. So that's your black gutta. That is your starting point. That will give you your outline. So think about what color you want to outline your pattern you're designing. Do you want your gold, your silver, or your black? Or maybe you don't want any color at all. Well, that's absolutely fine as well, because we've also got a clear gutta for you. So £2.39, all of these 40% off. This is your clear gutta there. So clear is if you just want the paint to do that work, and you don't like, maybe you just wanted to have the leaves, you didn't want to have that outline, then the clear will just act as a stopper, and it will just stop the paint. So then the emphasis is on the rich color of the paint, and that's why you'd use a clear one. It's a really handy one to have, because then it's almost like it acts as a resist as well. So if you wanted just to have part of your design where there was no color at all, then use your plain. I would always pop in a plain, no matter what other color I was going for. So if you think about it, it's a bit like with your batik. So with the batik, they use wax as a resist to stop the dye going through. That's a bit how you would use your clear one. Now, let's have a look at these colours. These blend beautifully, and these are on, I believe, 40% off, but we'll just double check that. Some of these have got fewer than 5, so you're going to have to be quick. Let's start with my favourite colour, which is this one here. So start with your gutter and then move on. This is your cyclamen, and the code KUCG64. Bearing in mind, you use a drop, and it spreads. And it's just gorgeous. £2.39 was £3.99. That's your cyclamen one. Now, if I was doing that, then I would maybe go for an orange as well. ARCG46. Let's come back to Tilly's here. Cyclamen, then dropped into orange. So you can see how it's bled in and merged beautifully, so you don't have to be an artist. Less than 10 of the artist available, 10 of the orange available, and then she's gone into the golden yellow. So they're the 3 colours. If you want to get this effect, then you go for these 3 colours. So if you want to do something like Tilly's done, and you can just trace a leaf, and then put your gutter around, and then literally just a drop in there, a drop of the orange. There she's just putting a drop of the yellow, and it bleeds out to where that gutter is and stops. It's just beautiful. So that's £2.39 for that. So I would, if it were me, I would maybe, if you're only going to do like 3 as a starting point, then do those. Now then, let's have a look at the other sort of colour families, if you will. So this one here is your turquoise, YXCG89, and that's another beautiful colour. The pigment in here is incredible, and that's why you just need a tiny, tiny drop. But like I say, I would be getting those amazing silk scarves. I would be getting the square one, the 55 centimetre by 55 centimetre. Here's your green. That's your brilliant green. And I would be doing gorgeous designs and then putting them over the top of cushions and things like that. Or embroidering on it, or doing whatever you want to do, but get the starting point. These are great quality, gorgeous silk paints. So maybe this is the day where you start a new hobby. Have you got any resolutions yet? This is royal blue. Maybe that's going to be the start of your resolutions. And you're going to start. Maybe you want to start with your primary colours so that you can mix these, because you can mix these colours up as well, and then you can get all the colours. However you want to do it, but for £2.39, that is incredible, incredible value. What a cracking price there for your textile silk paint. Now this is violet. It looks like blue, but that's just because the pigment is so incredibly rich. But actually you just need, like I say, you just need a tiny, tiny drop, which means that these go so far. These really do. Now let's go with deep black next. Now that with the gold is going to be stunning. So that's your deep black there. £2.39. What a fabulous price. 40% off to start a whole new different way of making your own fabric. That's what you're doing. You're being your own fabric designer. Now, traditionally, the Japanese were big into this. And you see, if you look at a lot of Japanese art with the koi carp and it's all printed onto silk, it's these kind of paints that they use. And the last one here is your ochre. That's your ochre. Very handy one to have. So that's your ochre. Now, just remember, these dyes the pigment is incredibly intense with these. So just a drop and you will get a gorgeous colorway with these. So £2.39 for your ochre was £3.99, 40% off. So I feel this hour has been kind of an alternative kind of hour for all these things. What I did and the paintbrushes, because it might be that you're starting off and you don't actually have any paintbrushes. So these are your nylon synthetic hair for use for thin and heavy-bodied paint. You just need to clean your brush with water with these. But there you are, there you're ready to go. So £3.59. Oh my word, seriously, we've taken 40% off these as well. No way, I'm so getting all of these as soon as we come off air. So getting all of those. I loved silk painting. A lot of, oh really? So you have to check out, a load of these have already gone. Please check out your baskets. Do not miss out on these. They are absolutely exquisite. Give us a call if you're in any doubt, 0800 112 4433. Now, one last thing just to cover, and these are the Soline pens. Have you not got this? Oh, I was going to show you how to change the cartridge and everything. Don't bother. Because we've never shown you how to actually change the cartridge in there. We'll do that another day. Producer Paul says not in my hour. He means they're not in his hour, not like I can't show you how to use them. Right, Alison Glass. Which is most popular? I love this silk. Flower number 2. This one here. She says picking up the wrong one. This is your flowers number 2. Lots of you have got this in your basket. It's a good sizable piece, isn't it? Lovely. And you can see what they've done with it. Look. Up there. There you go. So you've got up there, they've done it as the wall art. So that's your flowers number 2. I'm assuming that's flowers number 1. That's your flowers number 2. Done as a nice piece of wall art. So for £12.59. Here at Sewing Quarter, we want to cover all the bases for you. I know, you know, so maybe this is the first time you thought about putting some of your embroidery into a card. Why not? Why not? We'll give it a go. Now, the embroidery flosses going super, super fast. So we're running very low on stock. Please, yeah, which one? Which one do you want to look at? Just checking to Producer Paul, don't know which one. Which one do you want to bring in? The Laurel Canyon. Oh, this is so pretty. Look at that. So if you missed these early on at the beginning of the show, these are from Sublime Stitching, and the designer Jenny prides herself in the luster that she gets with these, and they're just exquisite. And you get 6 ply, and they're 100% cotton. Now after the break, we are doing all of your devices, your tablet devices, covers for those. So if you just got one for Christmas, you need to keep it safe. We've got some beautiful fabrics so that you can make some gorgeous things after the break.
Happy Christmas, everyone. I hope you have a very festive time.
Join us as we prepare for the new year on Saturday the 30th of December for a special show with guest designer Paul Clark. Star of the Great British Sewing Bee, Paul will be demonstrating how to make a men's button-down shirt from the book Burda Style Sewing Vintage Modern. He'll share his expert tips along with plenty of fun with me, John Scott. We have 3 stunning new premier fabrics which will be perfect for this project. Choose from a gorgeous navy and red check, a stylish blue and green gingham, or a bright gingham with red and pink. So don't miss this inspiring show at 8 AM on Saturday the 30th of December with Paul and me, John Scott, only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78. Join us on Facebook. Simply search for the Sewing Quarter and like our page for the latest news and more.
So I'm going to be showing you how to do a hem stitch. Now a hem stitch is just a row of small slanting stitches that are used to secure your hem. So in this case I'm pretending that this is going to be the bottom of a trouser leg. I'm first going to take my needle through the single hem. I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail before I place that back down. So then I'm going to do a double stitch. Now this is just where you sew over the same area twice, so you're creating a knot. So that's 1, 2. So that's securing my thread now. And now we can begin doing our hem stitch. So you're going to need to bring your needle in at a diagonal. So you want to pick up a few stitches from what would be the trouser leg before then going into your hem So you can make this stitch a little bit bigger. And then repeating that process again at a diagonal, I'm going to be picking up a few stitches of the trouser leg, and then we can pick up more of the single hem. So I'm making these stitches super big so you can see what I'm doing, but when you do this at home you'd want to make these a little bit closer together. Okay, so there's my row of hem stitching, and if I just turn this over, you can see the very small stitches on the other side. So if you're doing this in a normal thread and not a thick thread, you won't be able to see those at all.
Do you know what? I've had the best year ever, and it's thanks to you. So I'd like to say happy, happy, happy holidays. I hope you have a fantastic Christmas and keep watching through to 2018.
Did you know there are multiple ways you can contact us, even if it's just to ask a question? Our friendly team are always on standby. You can call our customer service team at 0800 112 4433, email us at help@sewingquarter.com, visit our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter @sewingquarter, and even message us through our website, and our presenters will answer your questions live on air. Hello, welcome back. Now I'd like to bring for you this hour a great make for anybody that got any kind of technological device, you know, for Christmas, iPads, e-readers, all those sorts of things. Then we're going to be covering all of that. But first of all, I'd like to tease you with a little bit of brand new Tim Holtz fabric. I love this. Check this out. So Tim Holtz started off in the crafting world, actually, making paper crafts, distress inks, all those sorts of things, but he's moved into doing fabric design. And what he's taken is the depth that he used to get in terms of shading and interest and different layering up of things, and put it into his stunning fabric collections. This is from the Eclectic Elements range, and we love it. This is the Blue Game cards fabric. It's brilliant, isn't it? And I think what's really lovely about this is that it can give a great masculine vibe. And if you just see with this, just the size of each of those squares, and they've got sort of edges to them as well, then it might be that you want to patchwork big squares like that, cut those out and patchwork, and then you've got big, chunky, manly size things. I don't know, just a thought. Just an idea. But per half a metre, we're looking at £7.49. Tim Holtz fabric is the only fabric that I have taken home that my husband has gone out of his way to say he likes. I think it's because it's one of the only ones that's done the flowers and stuff on. But so it's a really lovely fabric for maybe a masculine gift, something like that. Really, really gorgeous. Producer Paul always goes crazy for a bit Tim Holtz. Have you seen this diamond one, Producer Paul? Is this another new one? This isn't it's premiere for me. Can I have it as a premiere for me one? This is my premiere. I like this. It might do funny things on your screen, to be fair. Don't look too hard. I like it. I like it, but just don't move it. £7.49 per half. Yeah, your diamond. Yeah, your black diamond fabric. So that's £7.49 for that. I'm going to get rid of that. Not get rid of it, but take it off your screen, because it does wonderful things in person. It's not so great on the screen. Now, I've got to show you this one, because I love this one. This is the one that has got the clocks and the gears and. Jen, did you make yours out there? Yes. No. It was a different one. But look at this. So if you have any kind of engineering type person or someone that likes to tinker with this, that, and the other, what a great fabric. And you can just start to see how Tim Holtz brings yesteryear bang up to date with your fabrics, layering things up. For a guy that's renowned for his distress inks, you can really see that detail. Somehow he's managed to get it in the print of the fabric as well. So it's just fabulous. Unlike anything else that we sell. I remember the first day that we bought Tim Holtz to wear, it was gone, just woof, gone. And now we're managing to bring it to you. Not only is it quite difficult to get hold of, but we're now managing to bring it to you in half-meter increments. So you could get this, maybe you wanted to do like a duvet or something like that. You could now do this because you can buy it by the half-meter, which is fabulous. Brilliant. Like that a lot. 2 more Tim Holtz, and then we're going to have a look at our pre-cuts. Now, let's have a look at, this is the typography one. Producer Paul, this is another one that you love. Yeah. No, yeah, but Jen's there going, ooh, I wasn't given that one to play with. No, you weren't. Very rude, sorry. You have to come back and do another one with this. We thought that this would also be lovely. Maybe if you've got a Kindle or an e-reader or something like that, how lovely to do a cover with words, with letters. Really beautiful. So this is your typography fabric from the Eclectic Elements range. $7.49 per half a meter by Tim Holtz. We love, 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 love it. Now, the last one. Oh, you know what I could, oh no, it's all right, they're over there. It's fine, ignore me. Right. I love this one. We made a cracking bag with this the other day. It was really lovely. Whee! Oh, wrong way around. It was all going so well. There we go. Right. Ta-da! How about that for you tailors out there? I know, imagine it in a lining or a bag or a jacket. Actually, I think Paul Clark saw this the other day and just wanted a shirt out of it. He's like, forget linings or anything, I just want it as a shirt. Be lovely. $7.49 per half a meter. Ooh, it's giving me goosebumps. I love it so much. Right. Jenniffer has made all sorts of goodies to show us, and I want to show you the fabric first that she's made out of, and then we'll go over and see what she's got in store for us. So there you go. These are the tablet, let's call them generic tablet holders for you today. So the one on the left is out of K Facet. This is out of his fall fabric range, which is just exquisite. $27.95, and you are going to get 6 fat quarters out of that. Now we've got 2 of the 4 ranges, but look at these colors. So if you want exactly those colors, and again, what a beautiful range. And when you start to see them all working together, absolutely exquisite. I think this is the one. This is the one, isn't it, Jen, that's in the middle of your... Yeah, oh, yeah. She's saying, yeah. Look at that. Oh, yeah.
Just pops.
It's like, it's almost like you're in night goggle visions. No, night vision goggles. You know what I mean?
You know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I can't speak properly today. That is your cave, but we've got 2. So if that's a colourway, maybe you've already got it. You're like, hang on. Have you not got any other colourways? Of course I have. It's Keith. He's got all the colours. Oh, this is the one that we're demoing with. This has got this one in it. Love this one. Oh, you've got to take a look at this. Are you using this one? Oh, I love you for that. Look at that. Yes. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. I can't wait to see how you're going to use these. Now, Holtzy, says producer Paul. Holtzy, Tash. Holtzy. Yeah. Let's do a bit of Tim Holtz. Now,
You get a lot.
this is your correspondence. 17-piece fat quarter bundle. Mine got as far as getting home and ironing them all flat. And I can't bring myself to make anything quite, because I haven't decided what super special project. I know that I want to do something for my husband, but I haven't decided what. It might be that I do him sort of a quilt for sort of the brown sofa. It might be that I do that, but like big squares, so it sort of feels a bit manly. But oh, this is one of my favourite ones here with the maps in the red. Look at that. So this is all based on correspondence. We can go into more detail with these, but it's just a gorgeous collection. And if you're after the one, so Jen's that we're going to see any seconds now, there we go, perfect, is made out of this fat quarter here. Oh, I can't wait to see these made. So $59.99, get it.
Get it.
Get it. Get it, get it. How much did you love working with these?
Oh, it was so hard. Bidding, like, because I used 3, they're just there, out of the Tim Holtz. So I used 3 different ones. So I used this one on the outside, used the sort of map one for the outer rim, and then used the schematics for the inside.
You see, there's one,
so lovely,
which has just got like the stripes for the old airmail. And I think if I was doing one, I would be putting the stripes around the edge, like the edge. There's so much choice.
So I had to do even that. It was so lovely. I even used the edge of the selvage just to add a bit of detail. Couldn't help it. It is lovely. Really lovely. You know what I was thinking? Reupholstering a chair, patchwork reupholstering in that Tim Holtz.
What an amazing
quarter
idea.
pack. Oh, delightful.
We see, I'm thinking like a big manly size quilt, so like real big, like 12-inch square, 10-inch square, something like that, big, and you know, maybe just on like a fleece background or something like that.
Nice.
And then with my leftovers,
Which you will
doing
have.
things to accessorize with.
Oh, you could get a whole study living room out of it, really, couldn't you?
Yeah. Great
It's
excuse to be
lovely.
making for the man.
It's forget about the men. It's just like me. I want it.
Come
No,
on,
you're right.
Tell
Okay,
me. Kirk must have seen this.
Oh yeah,
I'm amazed it made it
doubt.
to the studio.
Especially because it's funny because one of the presents that I gave my dad, it was a joint present from me and Kirk. It was the you know, the tests that they do to get you involved in, you know, the Enigma codes.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
code
yeah.
crackers. There's a book full of them, and as I was giving it him, I was like, oh, I should have wrapped it in some Tim Holtz.
Why didn't I
I should
think
have
about
wrapped it in
this?
some of this. That would have been a brilliant little
You should have
present.
made its own cover.
And that's what I mean. But yeah, all the sort of twisters, brain tweezers, and oh, it was just a great book, and it straight away reminded me of that collection.
Now, with this, you have a choice of how to make it. What we've got for you today are 2 different options.
Yep.
Now, the option that you've used here gives you, in fact, if I just hold up one piece of this.
It's like a schematic in itself.
Yeah, limited stock on this. Don't be scared, because this is many patterns in one. So you've got extra large, you've got large, then you've got medium, then you've got small, then you've got extra small. So you've got all of those sizes in there. And this is your template to create.
2 different types of covers.
So one can be for notepads, things like that, and then one can be for your tablet. But if you look at the holes in here so that you can trace and just put your pen
I'll walk you through it.
You'll see, but it's a lovely way, and that gives you an example. So you can either do one with that sort of handle, which is what Jen's done, or that, and we'll show you the different 2 versions in a moment. If you are going for this here, you're gonna need that there. So you've also got that in there.
In the pack, yeah.
And about 18 pages of instructions.
I've removed the 18 pages. I've just gone with the English version here. It took me a while to get it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
No,
because you
no,
open it up
no.
and there's about 18 different languages. So it's not complicated. Because I freaked when I was given this to make one. I was like,
because you saw all the paint. Oh, bless you.
I was like, how difficult is this thing going to be for me to make?
No, it just comes in.
And then I
every possible.
realised that I don't speak Spanish, I don't speak Dutch, I don't speak any of those things. So it didn't matter. Found the English one, and it's only a page like that.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Oh, bless
And that
you.
I know, I absolutely freaked. Natasha, here we go. This is what you're to make. But it was really easy, and I loved making them. And it gives you all the different sizes. So actually, that's 2 pages to give you all the different sizes and the 2 different fixings.
Yeah. There's different options, and you can mix and match. So if you wanted to do your iPad cover, but you want the sort of the I'm going to call it a belt, like the belted Velcro option. You can do that. You can always mix and match between the two templates.
Well, for example,
Yes, that's the I'm calling the belt option.
so this is, we'll call this the belt option. And this is one I made for the show last time we did
I was
it.
very impressed with it. I really was.
It's a bit
loving the
chula.
detail you've got going on there.
Oh yeah, no, I
Lovely.
quilted it.
No,
Just a little
great.
bit. I got all carried away. So that's one option for closing it. But yours here uses that template, which means that you can just close it across like that. It's entirely up to you.
I love it.
Beautiful.
Love it.
Now,
Here, I've got an example of some of those.
Now, Nancy Zyman, who is the designer of this, also brings you your pre-cut tablet shapers. If you've got a screen, you want to protect it. Now, there are two ways of working with these. You get 2 of that size, 2 of that size, and 2 really big ones, depending on what sizes. You can cut them down.
Oh yeah,
you can.
I'm going
That's no
to
problem.
trim some of these down
So you can trim down if you wish to the size of, because there are so many different shapes and sizes of this, that, and the other.
Well, especially if you use the other pattern, and we'll get onto that in a second. But go on, carry on.
I didn't use. She recommends. Nancy recommends that you use in either side. You use one in the back, one in the front. I wanted mine to go as far as I possibly
I'm
could.
totally with you on that because I did exactly the same thing.
So I used a thick wadding on one side, and then where I wanted the screen protected, I used that, and actually I put a very thin piece of wadding over the top so that it was squashy but solid.
That's exactly what I've done. Exactly what I've done.
Brilliant.
So the iPad goes in this section. Obviously, the screen will be facing you, but my wadding and my little pre-cut tablet keeper shapers are in this side. So when you close it, you've got that extra protection as well as the wadding as well. So
Yes.
make them go further. You don't have to. Oh, yeah, you could just put them in if you want. But
But you see also, because the template, this one, gives you the template, and they say for a notebook or something like that, and shows you where to attach your elastic fastenings. So if you're doing it for the tablet, then it shows you where to put your elastic. If you're doing it for a notebook, it tells you to put the elastic elsewhere. But if you're using these inserts as well, what that then gives you is a nice solid surface to lean on if you're writing.
Absolutely, yeah.
So really handy, it's just very versatile basically is what we're saying, I think. So if you would like, this is very clever what they're doing upstairs
very
today.
clever.
Look at them, groundbreaking graphics
I
going
am
on
loving
upstairs.
it.
Yeah, so if you want those, which are those, they're £8.15.
These. If you want these,
It's a good job I don't land planes, isn't it? Could you imagine what kind of mess I'd be getting them into?
We'll have Tim Holtz coming in any moment.
Possibly. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, go on. You start. What do
I
we
just
do?
wanted to, because another option with the pattern, the reason why
love
we're
this.
talking about that is, let me just open up with my little button. I don't know why I closed that, because I knew it would be fiddly to undo. It's my fault, it's a really small button. There you go.
We also have for you a pattern, and this is your electronic device covers and stands sewing pattern. So if you want lots of different options of making lots of different covers and things, then grab the pattern. Where did I
It's
put
just
it?
there's one on the thing.
Oh yeah, there.
There it is.
It's here.
It's there.
Ta-da!
Which is this version here.
There. So you've got all of the different patterns there. Da-da-da.
Da-da-da.
Which Jen has done here. Let's see that, Jen.
So the reason why I wanted to show you is because, again, I've used the lovely pre-cut tablet shapers, but this time I've kind of mimicked what you'd find on your iPad. So these are, I've cut them to give me 4 individual shapers,
nice.
so then you can rotate them into the triangle
Ah.
to give you your stand.
Nice.
That's what I like about that pattern.
It's all, you can
It's great.
intermingle them and it's all great. Can I just say, I've fallen in love.
Oh, delicious, isn't it? It is delicious.
What a cracking fat quarter bundle that fall is from Cafe there. Just beautiful. So you've got your regimental stripes there. Oh,
Nice.
let's make something.
Let's make.
Go
All right,
on,
let's
do
move.
that
Let's
thing.
move Tim out the way. There you go. Right, I need those later. So as Natasha's already quickly gone through for you, within your Pack with Nancy, you get 2 templates, but this covers both options, okay? And then you've got your really detailed set of instructions, which I do
It's
love.
only one page in your
it is,
language.
don't worry.
Don't panic.
Don't panic. I'm glad you mentioned that, actually, because... What?
Honestly, Jen, I freaked.
I can imagine, bless you.
Hang on a minute.
So what you will need with this particular kit is you will need some kind of marking device. So I'm using my water erasable pen.
Nice.
Okay, so you go ahead and pre-cut your fabric depending on which size you're going for. And again, the instructions all make that very, very clear. Depending on what size, you need to then go to this section.
You cut it on a fold as well. I mean, it is that easy.
It's so simple. I love it. Okay, so I've got my fabric there. So I'm not folding it in any particular position at the moment. I'm just folding it over just for the second. So I'm going to go, because I've got the smaller of the shape keepers, I'm going to go for the extra small size on my pattern.
Yes.
Okay. So what we're doing here, you can clearly see here, it says fold and center all styles. Fold and center all styles. It doesn't matter what size you're doing, it's this side that we're really interested in at the moment. Okay, and what I'm going to do is place that on the fold. So you can see that I've gone just slightly outside my guideline, which is here.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just past that guideline. I'm lining it up, I'm taking my pen, and I'm just going to make a couple of marks where it's telling me to on my pattern.
You get a lot of marks, actually. It's, yeah, easy.
Well, I could just do the top and bottom, but I want to show you that there is more than there if you're a little bit worried. Okay, so you just follow in the normal line.
I remember in art lessons very early on, always being told you do at least 3.
Yeah.
Because you could get, even if one was slightly off, then your whole thing is, but if you're lining up 3 different dots,
Can't go wrong then,
then
can you?
you'll tell if one's a bit skewy.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I've got my cutting mat out, obviously, and my ruler and my rotary cutter.
So happily my education wasn't a waste.
Hey!
If only for that fact.
So I'm just going to line this up. So I'm using the ruler just to check my edge here, but obviously it's the marks that I've just created that I'm really interested in. So again, just applying some pressure, exposing the blade and cut. So that's my first piece of my template done. So this will either be the outer or the inner, so you need to cut 2 of these. So again, if you want to mix and match your fat quarters there, you've got plenty of them in your pack. Go digging. So if you wanted to patchwork that first and then do that process, you can go wild, guys. You can go wild.
Good English paper piece with all your caifs.
Oh, that would be nice. That would be lovely.
Oh, a message for Janice.
Hello.
Oh, Janice, retune your Freeview box and just check your network because she said none of it's working at the moment.
Oh, we're here.
You're the only one that has said you're having problems, so it kind of suggests it might be something. There's a lot of snow and weather going on out there.
going on.
So yeah, just
Do a little retune.
just check over that.
Retune.
Yeah.
So with this, you just need 2 of the outer.
Okay.
Okay, and then you need to cut a series of pre-cuts, but they're just straight cuts. And again, they'll tell you what you need. So you need some for the binding,
yes,
and also for the centre strip, depending on obviously what you're making. So if you're going to do the notepad cover, which is gorgeous, then you'll be creating pockets and things like that in there as well. So, but I'm just going for the straightforward tablet one.
So you will do if you want to do that, the belt, belt fold, you'll have
you'd need to cut a straight piece for that.
One for the binding.
One for the binding. And then there'll also be a centre spine there, which you can see.
And they're just the bits that you would...
Yeah, so it's just hiding the elastic in the inside. So there is some other bits of cutting that you need to do, but they're just straightforward, so you don't need a template for that. They're just straightforward, straight cuts.
Yes.
So use your mat or ruler, depending on which version you like. So that's that bit done.
Yep.
And then the last thing I'm going to do is cut... I'm going to go with this one.
Oh,
so I'm not going to go with the belt. I'm going to use the other template.
Yes.
So I'm just going to grab some delicious fabric.
How do you choose?
I can't. Well, sometimes, especially when you get you just got to close your eyes and just go for it, because there is no wrong option, is there? There is absolutely no wrong option. And so if you can't make a decision, just dip sky blue. You'll do. Oh, I say do. It's a treat, but you know what I mean. You know what
Freddie
I mean.
was colouring the other day.
Yeah.
And he had, my son's 3, and he had all of his colouring pens, which meant every single one.
He was definitely doing it in dip sky blue there.
And he just said to me, he said, "Mummy, who likes all the colours?" I just went, Kay Fassett likes all the colours. I'm making this to Kay.
Oh, amazing.
My 3-year-old has
You
drawn
are
Kay
teaching him
Fassett
well. That's brilliant.
a picture. He may or may not want to receive it. I don't know. But next time he's on the show,
I think you should either
I
send
might
it
give
him or
him
give it him.
all the colours
That's such a lovely story.
as per my 3-year-old.
that. I just want to eat him. He's so cute. Which one does all the colours, Mummy? Oh,
Who has all the colours?
Who has all the colours?
Cave has all the colours.
He very much does. He very much does. That is so cute. I can't talk. It's delicious. That's so lovely. Right, okay, so this template, again, very similar situations. So depending on which size tablet cover you're making, you obviously select your appropriate size. So because I'm going for the extra small, I'm going to do that one now. So again, I'm just following around the template. So there's some bits in here that aren't to cut, but it's just letting you know the position of things. So again, let me just fill that round. That's that bit done. So there's the position number 1. So that's my, where if you're going to do a snap fastener, that's where you need to pop it. And there's this section here where you need to fold something.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not only just, it's not all about cutting size, it's also positioning as well. Oh,
Which it covered, nothing is left
No,
to
nothing
chance
is
with
left
this,
to
and
chance.
that's what I absolutely love.
yep. So that's that bit done. Okay, so I'm going to use my rotary cutter. So obviously you could cut it out with your scissors. So look
Are
at
you
me.
doubling up, Mrs.?
I am doubling up, so we can see I'm on the fold there.
Nice. Yeah, look at you. It's
Look at me
weird.
with my
not-
rotary cutter.
Yeah.
Although-
We will bring you over to the rotary
to
side.
the dark side.
To the rolling side.
I should have got the rotating little mat out. That would have been a good one for this. 'cause it's
yeah,
a
would have been,
small
wouldn't it?
project, Yeah. Never mind, never mind.
It's all right.
I do like this rotary cutter though, I must admit, because you can just put it down and it covers it up straight away, where sometimes you have to get your finger
Very
around
good
it.
if you have small people or paws in your home.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah. Because I don't know about you, but my animals just seem to
Gravitate towards sharp things.
converge on my workroom.
I love it.
And that's generally where I find them. And actually, lots of you sent me some wonderful photos of yours too, and I know that you do. But these are great makes. The fabrics that we've got for you today, mix and match them up, just beautiful. If you're working with the Kay Fassett fabric, just delightful. If you're working with the Tim Holtz, which is the most popular today.
Oh, it's delicious.
Is it most popular by the metre or in the fat quarter pack, producer Paul? It's the correspondence, yeah, it's the fat quarter pack is the most gorgeous.
It is
just
lovely.
stunning.
And like you said, it's got that a mixture of bits and bobs. So like you've got the high detail stuff, if you like, with the schematics and the maps, and then you've just got those hint of details where you've just got that classic blue, red, and white stripe of the post.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just lovely.
And that's what Jen's used to make that. And it is brilliant. But within that pack, what you also have are almost like Victorian tile patterns in there, in your blue and white and things like that. It's just good.
I think that'd make a lovely, just a cravat, like a cravat and a pocket square. That would have been a nice Christmas present, actually.
We need another Christmas. Clearly.
Oh, we've got another 363
Few days.
Right, okay. Right, so I'm going to do a little bit of pressing now, if that's all right. So I'm just going to move my mat away so I don't melt it. And the iron should be on, so just be careful, my darling. Okay, so I've just got a little bit of standard interfacing, just so I've got a little bit of structure. So I've already gone ahead and cut that out.
Rachel says, absolutely loving watching you two this morning.
Aw,
Great show from Rachel. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Rachel.
Morning. Thank you for watching.
Are you making while watching us? That's what I want to know. And if so, what are you making? So there you go, I've just put some interfacing on. So I've done that, and I've also gone ahead and attached some fusible wadding to my other piece. So remember the bit
is
that
that
we
your
cut out
inside?
first? So inside, outside, so I've got two pieces. I've just attached one. Oh, it's lovely, isn't it?
Just bear with me, I just stroke the fabric.
Strokeability is there. So I've fused with some wadding. You can any wadding's fine, and then I haven't bothered to do the other one.
Do you know, actually, this is a great project for those little offcuts that you get left over from quilting or anything like that, or making a bag. Use them up, never throw stuff away. Use it up here. But if you have thrown away, we've got loads on the website.
Just in case.
Well, you know, I
Just in
like to
case.
cover all bases.
And then while you've got your iron out, it might be worth just doing some of the other pre-cuts. So remember the central spine we talked about?
Yes,
so that's that piece there. You can see that I've already gone ahead and pressed over 1/4 of an inch on either side. So that's that bit done. And then the other one is your binding. So I think it's a 2.5 inch strip, and then it is folded over, so you've got 2 right sides. Okay, so again, I've attached that, I've sewn that together, pressed it ahead of time. So once you've done that, you're pretty much done for your pressing. To be
Well,
fair.
you are. It's not. It's easy from there on in, isn't it?
Yeah. So get it while you've got the iron nice and hot. Get it all out of the way. So we can put that away now. That's all all safe and sound. Bring me mat back. Right. Okay. So let's get on with some sewing. So the first thing that I'm going to want to do is the tab.
So, the tab. I was
I'm
going
to do the tab first.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, because at some point we have to put the elastic on, don't we? And producer Paul wanted us to show the elastic, but we'll do this bit first.
You sure? I can either or.
That's all right.
All right, okay. So to do the tab, first thing we're going to do is going to fold it in half lengthways. Okay, and then what we're going to do is stitch down that shorter area there towards the fold. Okay, so that's the step 1. And it's 1/4 inch on all of the stitching on this pattern.
It's when you do things like this that it makes me think, I could make a tie.
Yeah, well, it's almost going to be a tie in a second. So what you're going to do here, once you've done that seam, you're going to bring it to give yourself a nice point, like so. Okay, so that's that bit done. And then you just repeat that on the other one.
Okay.
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 Okay. Fabulous. It does, once you've done your cutting.
It's all sewing from this point on.
Yeah, that's the nice thing, isn't it? Oh, you just undone your, yeah. And actually nice easy sewing too.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
all straight lines. So if this is the first thing, because loads of you have been messaging and saying, New Year's resolution, gonna start sewing, or maybe change the sort of sewing that you do. Maybe you're a dressmaker like Jenniffer, and actually want to make all these wonderful things as well. There's a wealth of sewability out there.
Absolutely, there's so many things you can do.
Yeah.
So once you've got your 2 triangles stitched into place, then all you need to do is just turn them inside out, okay? So you might actually want to clip, you know the very point of that there?
Yeah.
So you might want to just clip that point.
Well, I guess that's interface as well, isn't it? So it's doubly sort of
nice
stiffened
and,
at that point.
And, stiff. So again, just watch your stitches there. So you can turn that over then, and you've got a nice point on that side, and then the same again here.
Do you require the iron again, or?
We could, so you could do the iron, but we will skip the iron. So what I would suggest doing now, if you're going to be attaching so in this case we had a magnetic snap.
Easy for you to say.
Oh yeah. Oh, surely I should be losing my words at 8 o'clock, not at 10 o'clock. But anyway.
Check the website for those, because the other thing is that you can use Velcro.
Yes, which is why we've got here. So if you wanted to, this stuff is brilliant. It's really good. I don't know if I've got any more trolley actually. Let's have a look.
Now, the thing with Velcro, if you've ever tried attaching Velcro, it's a bit of a nightmare if you have to sew it on. Now, the joy of this, and I salute this, love it, and now use it regularly, is that after 24 hours of placing on, you can reposition it to start off with, so get it in exactly the right position, but after 24 hours of leaving it in place, it forms a permanent bond, and you can wash it, so if you're doing it on dog coats or other things that need Velcroing or cushion backs you know, we've all done it. We haven't done enough of an envelope on the back of a cushion, so we've had to stick a bit of discreet Velcro on.
A bit of bodging.
You know, rather than having to find a thinner cushion, then this is the one. This is your Velcro. So that's your black version. So just have a think about what colour you're working with. So the K full, the black will work perfectly with that. But if you're going for something lighter, then go for your whiter. Lighter weighter. $3.99. No more pulling threads through when you're trying to.
Because it is a bit of a nightmare.
It's a pig. It's an absolute pig to try and sew on Velcro. I hate it.
Yeah.
I don't need to anymore.
Well, you
Happy
don't need
days.
Happy
$3.99. Worth every single penny.
It's true.
Quite frankly.
Very, very true.
In
so
my
if
life.
you remember our template here, you had that circle.
Yes.
So it's that section that you'd be interested in. So if you are doing your snaps, that's the positioning for your snaps.
Yes.
But in this case, obviously, it's for your Velcro. So you may need to, depending on how you've marked it, you might need to transfer that over. But either way, before I do any more sewing, I know where it needs to be because I'm just matching up the edges, and then I can make a little mark there, and then you
It's
know where
even
you need
left
to
you
put
that
your,
little hole in there for you to make the mark
to make the mark, so you can do that. So you know exactly where your either your snap or your Velcro or whatever fastening you're going to be putting on there, you know where to put it.
Happy days.
Okay, so to do the next step, all you need to do is pop the right sides together, and then what you're going to do is stitch down the long edges. But before you do that, you need to turn under. Remember on our template, we had these two sections here.
Oh, yeah. What's that
So
all
you're
about?
folding back to that line. So because I've interfaced, you can't see that anymore. So again, this is what I love about this. You just, if you've, for whatever reason, interfaced or your pens come off or whatever, you can just keep going back in with your template so you know exactly where you need to go with that. So all you're doing is just folding that back to that mark, quick finger press. Same again on that side. So you can see I've got my marks on there already.
Mm-hmm.
So hold on, wrong way. That way?
Yes.
That way?
Yes.
That's right. Right sides
Yes.
together.
Yes.
Done. Right. So you, just so you know, guys, you're not sewing the triangle bits. It's literally just the long lengths.
Okay. We can do that. So if you got a tablet, an e-reader, a Kindle, a new phone, because you can do...
Make small versions.
Yeah. Then great, isn't it? Brilliant. Get them covered. Great excuse to use up your fabric in a really creative, beautiful way and have it so that you've got it there to use every day. I like that. Rather than having to, you know... Because this might not go with your home decor.
Well, and also
But it's a
everyone
great
has the
way.
same. Everyone has the same, and you want to be
Yeah.
individual, don't you?
Yeah.
So you know.
So many people got tablet-based gifts from me this year. Is that right? Well, it was just a really lovely way of getting that splash of colour. She loved it.
Okay.
So why have we only gone down 2 sides?
It's as per Nancy's instructions. So who am I to deviate from those instructions?
Why should I know? Come on, Nancy. What was your reasoning?
Why was your reasoning? So I think because obviously there's a lot of fabric in that section, and you want a nice sharp point. So you've already created that by doing that reversed V, if you like. So once you've done that, then you can turn this inside out. So let's go that way. I feel like I'm trying to get a small child's hand through a sleeve, you know, when they're a little bit wriggly. Like, hold still.
Also trying to get small hands into gloves.
Same problem.
I'm sure he sprouts like 10 extra fingers and ram them in gloves.
So you might
Not
want to get
happening.
your iron out again. Just give that a nice quick press. Can we do that? Is that fine? And then we'll move on to the other bits for you.
I'll even do it for you if you want.
Yep, sure.
Now, producer Paul says, please remember to check out your baskets. The Tim Holtz is so popular. Half of the stock has already gone. The correspondences is, of course, a fabulous range. And I say that hand on heart because I bought it.
Oh, it's lovely. It is
Love
lovely.
it.
Okay, so now you've turned it back the right way, sorry. So you've got a nice clean edge on the outer edge. That's all done. So the last thing to do before we attach it to the rest of our make is just go around with a quick top stitch all the way around. But I like the fact that all the edges are all nice and clear and neat.
It is actually, isn't it?
Neat
Yeah.
edges already.
So we're not having to slip stitch anything like that?
No.
No. None of that today. Don't worry about that.
No, thank you. No, thank you. So I'm just going to go around very quickly with the top stitch, and then we can move on with the rest of our make.
If you are someone that loves a good stitching project, this is the one for you, isn't it? Because once there's not all that much cutting out to do, it's not fiddly, it's straight lines, it's easy.
Yeah, it is a nice one actually, for a beginner especially.
Now, the tablet keepers, these are the keeper shakers. Now, you can put 2 in a project if you want it super sturdy, or to be honest, I made them go further, and I did 1 in each. Well, then it means that you've got six tablet keepers. It depends if you're just making for sort of yourself and hubby or whatever, then that's fine. But also a great way of making things for those teens. We have teens in our family. Always tricky, especially if you want to make anything for them. Because invariably they don't think it's cool.
Yes.
But actually, if it's for one of their electronic devices, it's way cool. So £8.50, and you too can be like, I don't know, the cool grand, the cool aunt.
Well, what I was also thinking, I know obviously it's a bit late for Christmas now, a bit early, should I say?
People have birthdays.
People with birthdays, especially with that Tim Holtz fabric, a nice cool tie, and then with a matching cover, iPad cover. So there you go. There's your little tabs. All you need to do is put. Obviously, you would have done at least the male or female part of the snap fastener already.
But we're Velcroing.
But we're Velcroing, so we're all good.
So just think about what it is that you're using.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. Okay. So the next thing we need to do that's already prepared is our main fabric. Whoa! Hallelujah. So the first thing I'm going to do is our elastic parts.
Okay.
Okay.
I do believe that this has been designed by Philip Jacobs for Kay Fassett.
Ooh.
Well, there are the three of them. So there's Philip Jacobs, there's Kay Fassett, and there's Brandon Mabley that do the different designs. That's why you get such a range of different design. But Philip Jacobs is an amazing, and certainly this one would have been done by Philip Jacobs. So wherever you see the florals, like the real intricate florals, they'll have been done by Philip Jacobs. But he hates working with colour. And of course, Kay came along and went, well, I've got all the colours.
I'll do that for you.
So I'll sort that. So it's a beautiful thing. And he calls them the Three Musketeers.
Oh, I love
and together they create these stunning designs. So in 12 minutes, how much this can we make?
Pretty much most of it, I reckon. Okay, so we've got our fabric. So I'm using one of these, so make sure you keep one aside. So going back in with my template this time, I'm going to be putting in where I'm going to put my elastic. Okay, so remember the fold and centre line we talked about for all styles, which is the centre part here. Similar here, we've got where the elastic needs to go for all styles. So it's only in this section will it be different. So we've got a little bit, so we need to know where the central spine goes, so that's top and bottom. There's the section for my first piece of elastic. Because we're making the extra small, got that section there. Coming up to the top, again, remember we're extra small, so it's this one we need. And then the last one there, that is done, okay? So we know where the central spine needs to start and finish. We've got our 4 pieces of elastic, and that's it, you're done with that now. So you can move that out of the way.
We've got elastic.
We have got elastic.
We've got elastic for you.
I do hope so.
Yeah, and this is EDGQ92. This is your elastic, and it's just the perfect width.
Lovely.
Less than £2. It's the perfect price, $1.99 for your general purpose polyester braided white elastic.
Blah, 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 blah.
You get 5 meters of it.
Which size have you got? Oh no, that's the right size. I was about to say them. Okay, so I'm just going to cut a few sections of elastic to make it
Jen,
easier
can
for
I
me.
tell you where I went wrong with this?
Yes, go for it.
Okay, so you've got your markers on here. Don't do like I did. Because you've got your binding that goes on as well. So where you've got your markers there,
Yeah.
so there's your mark, one there, one there. I put the edge towards the inside. And it meant that actually by the time that my binding was on, I didn't have enough. So, and this is the only thing that isn't in the instructions, and I fell foul, I'll be honest. Put the inside edge
To the inside.
there, and then by the time you've got your binding on there and there, you've still got enough to tuck your tablet under.
Exactly. That's a good tip.
So that was just something that I had an error with. I can show you exactly. I made sure I'd never opened this one on air. In fact, no, I didn't even put that one in. It was on the other one that I made.
Oh, no, you
I've
are
made lots of,
absolutely
but
right.
it just, you've done it perfectly in yours. So I didn't know if you'd actually fallen foul of it, but I did. So,
No, so go on the inside of the marker, not the outside of the marker, as Tash is saying. So let me just put another pin in there.
because I don't
And you'll
want you
notice
to go
I've
through all
cut
that
my
hard work.
elastics a lot bigger than I needed to, because I'll trim back later.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there's my little mark. 1 and 2. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do very quickly now is just going to go across these here, just to tack them in place before we go any further.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have to go around the whole thing. So I am literally just going to stitch over the elastic parts.
And you would do that within your seam allowance,
Yes.
wouldn't you?
That's correct. Otherwise, it just makes it very difficult later on.
And round you go.
Around I go.
Which colours are you going for? Ooh, now the correspondence has been the most popular today, which is the Tim Holtz correspondence. You get 17 fat quarters in there, which are just gorgeous. And this, over half the stock's gone. Gosh, wow. I'm not surprised. It's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And also, I mean, if we had to work out a percentage of florals and sort of girlier prints to actually ones like the caif and like this, which can be used male, female.
Oh, it's so versatile.
You know, I'm just trying to think. So, producer Paul's saying how many fat quarters does it take to make one of these stands? I mean, how long is a piece of string string? Because it depends. It depends what size you're going to do. But you could make. Hang on, let me go and get a fat quarter.
Yeah, definitely.
And let's measure up. So let's go biggest size. Now remember, you put that on the fold.
Yeah.
So there's your inside. Ooh, no. Okay. So you would need to use a different fat quarter for your inside, a different fat quarter for your outside.
If you're going the largest.
If you're going the largest, this is like the large, and that's okay. Here's our. Oh, nice message from Patricia who says, "Hi, loving the show. Bought the pattern. You're all amazing. Thanks."
Thank you. Just dropping that in there.
This is just to show you. Like that is your biggest size, and that's how big our iPad is.
Which is the medium, guys. It's the medium size that you need.
So I would imagine that you could get, in terms of the main fabric, and then you've got your binding. If you were going for a normal tablet size iPad stand, then you'd get one out of a fat quarter. But if you're going bigger, then you'd have to use more.
It would be it would definitely be two fat quarters if you're going for the extra large. One, because obviously you can see that you clearly can't get the same on the inside and the outside. But with the leftover, that will be your binding and the spine and everything else. So no more than 2 fat quarters. So there's loads left over, isn't there?
Yeah. So out of that bundle, you could make 8 of the biggest.
That's correct.
Binders.
Yes.
So that could be for your A4 pads if you're someone that, you know, I'm doing my yoga course at the moment. We have to scribble away with a lot.
Yeah. Why not be fashionable while you're doing it?
Well, you know. I'd go for just managing to stand up. But yeah. Okay, right. What happens next?
So you can see that we've got our bits all tucked in place.
Yes.
Now obviously these sides here, you know, are going to be covered with your binding later, but at the moment we've got this horrid section in the middle where you can see all the raw edges.
Yes.
This is where the central spine comes into place. And remember, if we can bring in our template, you have the little marks that we've already gone ahead and marked into my fabric, telling you where the start of that needs to be. So I've already gone ahead and pressed in my seam allowances, so I'm just matching that up. So you can see that's clearing that elastic nicely, so it's giving you a nice clean edge. So if I just pin there and there, and I'm just going to stitch down.
Nice. Just a straight stitch?
Just a straight stitch, and then obviously I'll tuck that under and do the other side. So it's just parallel stitching.
So far, no fancy stitching, no fancy cutting, but you do get the chance to really make something that you're going to use day in, day out. Sometimes what a lot of our guests say, Jen, and I don't know if you feel like this when you've spent a lot of time working on a project, is that actually it's then really nice to have quicker projects, so you get that sort of instant gratification.
Yes.
If you spent a month working on a really intricate quilt.
And you just want something to,
just want something that's going to come together quickly, look amazing, and just be gorgeous.
Absolutely.
Then this is for you.
It is a nice little project for and I wouldn't even say an afternoon. You could really make this easily within sort of, depending on how quick you are at cutting out really and following instructions. I'd say be able to do it in an hour easily.
I did 3 in a day.
Well, there you go then.
So I did 3 in a day, and don't forget...
With cutting out as well,
with
though.
Cutting out,
brilliant.
with
That's
cutting
great.
out, and with the binding and everything else. I did 3 in a day, and that includes my freak out over the instructions.
Well, that would have been an hour at least.
Yeah, to go and have a cup of tea and a sit down and a bit of chocolate to get over the fact I thought it had 7 pages of instructions. It doesn't, it's just in every language, just to make that clear. Already looking good.
It looks great. So that's that bit done. That's the internal part of your of this version of this pad done already. So the last thing we need to do now is put the right sides together. Now, depending on what finishings you're doing, you'd need to obviously stitch in your, if you're doing the belt. So if you're doing the belt, you'd need to go ahead and stitch that now before you go on to this section, all right. Because we're doing the little tab version, this is where, again, you bring out your, no, you don't, you measure out. You measure out 2 inches. Let me just do this quickly. So it's about, I think it was 1.5 inch actually. 1.5 inches away. You will draw a line. So obviously this is my water erasable. That will come out. She says.
It will.
It's very scary, but it will. And then obviously you've got your little mark there. So this would be, again, Velcro or your snap fastener or whatever it is that you're using.
This is the point at which, at the moment, Jen's working with a non-directional print. Another mistake that I made.
Oh yeah. Make sure you've got the fabric.
Is make sure you've got the fabric round the right way. So mock it up is what I would say. So if you had, I think I might have done a version where my otters were upside down. I think they were. But it's the
Maybe they
cosmic
were having a
otters.
swim.
Well, they were under the effects of non-gravity, clearly. But just make sure that if you are using a directional print, that you are sewing these things onto the correct size.
Yes.
Don't do as I might have done. Learn from my mistakes, basically. Don't make yourself.
Well, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
So I've stitched on very, very quickly, very
'cause we've only got
shoddily,
2
stitched
minutes.
it on. So that will be that bit done. So when you do this, this time it's wrong sides together. So don't worry about you think, oh, what's going on? It's wrong sides together because obviously don't forget, guys, you are binding it all together. So I'm just moving that there. So this is where you now stitch around the edges. And then once you've done that, you've created 2 pockets, haven't you? So this is where you can get your template keepers.
Yes.
And then you'd slide those in.
Yeah.
So now at the moment...
So you just go around 3 sides.
You just go around
don't
3
you?
sides, but these are slightly bigger than they need to be. So you do need to take them in a little bit. One, to get them into your tablet, but also so you've got enough room to sew around it because you've got to get your binding on that as well. So just very quickly, I'm going to show you how easy it is to cut through these, and I am going to use this because this is the last time I'm using the blade. So if I just take my...
Now, one of our designers had a top tip because we had someone send in a very interesting question the other day.
Yeah.
You cut because we're running out of time. And she said, how do you throw away your blades?
Yes.
And actually, one of our designers says that she writes on a permanent pen on there when it's old and just writes, old for paper or exactly that you've just done, and puts them back in the tin they came in because you've got to be careful how you throw them away.
Yeah, but also don't throw them away because, like you say, once you've used them for your fabric and they're starting to blunt up, things like cutting your paper or things like this, don't throw them. Honestly, keep them. But that's how easy it is to cut.
Oh, just done.
Just so you know, it's a nice one to cut into. Don't be afraid to go in with your scissors or whatever, but make sure they're not your fabric scissors. Please don't use your fabric scissors. But they're really easy to cut. So make sure you just trim that down and that will slide in and then you just hand stitch it. It's done.
Thank you. Thank you. So a gorgeous make. I'm going to go look at those fabrics.
Oh, look at that combo.
I know. Ooh. Oh, I know. It's just beautiful. Do you know what I'm going to take with me? This.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, I know.
That's the one, my favourite. Can I just show you quickly? It's the typewriter on. It's so lovely.
So this is your Tim Holtz fabric. This is the correspondence range. We made this bag a while ago. We were talking about the airmail stripe. That's got that in. So you can be making these sorts of things with your Tim Holtz fabric. It's entirely up to you. But look, the Tim Holtz fabric is incredibly versatile and incredibly beautiful. And you can get the correspondence range, 17 fat quarters. Look, and I was saying you also had some sort of tile type fabric in there as well. You've also got that. So it offsets these other patterned ones really beautifully as well. So you've got those sorts of designs as well. But it is all absolutely exquisite. You've got your tickets. Oh, there's all sorts. And then also there's like a distressed stars in there as well. Oh, it's all fabulous. $59.99 YGRW03, and you will have so much to play with. But then why not also throw in, because this isn't in that, if that makes sense. So this one isn't included. So if you want to get a couple of fat quarters, then get yourself a 1/2 meter of your Tim Holtz blue game cards fabric from the Eclectic Element. So it's from the same range. So those colours are going to work beautifully. This is brand new today. So $7.49. And it's from the same designer. Gorgeous, lovely. Which one next? What? The what? Oh, the gears. I thought you said beards. I'm like, we don't have a fabric with beards on. Gears. That's what producer Paul's trying to say. And I'm like, what? Here we go. Oh, no, he wasn't trying. He was like, he said, I said it. I didn't actually say it. Yeah, no. Oh, there you go. These are your neutral gears, not beards. Lots of you have got this in your baskets. It's a fab fabric, this one. I'm a big fan of this. $7.49 per half a metre. RERW50 is your code for that one. Now, the cape that we made is just divine. It's just picking which one you want, isn't it? So we made, which one we made on the show, or which one we had made. So that one is your fall 6-piece fat quarter. Fall as in, you know, that's their autumn, isn't it, I guess. But then the one that we made it out of today were these colours, which are rather fab too. Love these. Just look at those. Oh, and then you get, just brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. $27.95. Again, lots of you with these in your baskets. You've seen them used, they've seen how well they all go together, how gorgeous they are. You've got 6 fat quarters in here. That could be 3 of those big tablet covers. There you go. Or multiples of the smaller ones, which are great gifts as well. You know, just don't make just for yourself, make for everyone you know. So under a tenner a tablet cover is what you're looking at. Or more if you're making the small ones. Yeah, love it. Right, what are we looking at next? We haven't looked at. Oh, we haven't looked at Edith, have we? Quite right. So this is Judith's Fancy. Judith's Fancy is a lovely range. It's got a kind of folk art feel about it. In fact, the designer has a lot of her work in folk museums, art galleries. So, but look at this. You get a real paintery feel. Jennifer Pagnelli is the designer here. But what she likes is to bring in this brush stroke quality, that painterly feel. And that's what you're getting in Judith's Fancy. So we've got all of those, and they're absolutely beautiful to work with. Lovely colours. $49.95. Now, please check out your baskets. Make sure you've got exactly what you want. Coming up after the break, we've got Creative Grids. We've got brand new Creative Grids, and we've got a Creative Grids book. Never had that before. So do stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Maybe grab yourself a cup of tea. But then join us after this very short break when all will be revealed. Creative Grids wise.
Here's wishing you all a very Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy and prosperous New Year.
Follow us on Instagram. Search for our Sewing Quarter page and follow us to get our latest posts.
Hi, I'm Victoria Pete and here are my top tips. My first tip is when dressmaking is to wash your fabrics. As soon as you get home or as soon as it arrives in the post, stick it in the wash. Wash it as you would do with the finished garment, get it ready so that when you're ready to sew, you're ready to go. My next tip is posture. When you're sitting at your sewing machine, particularly when you're doing something like quilting, pay attention to how you're sitting in the chair, because quite often when you're really concentrating on quilting, you have a tendency to hunch, and before you know it, you'll end up with a bad back. So my last tip is to not sew when you're tired. So many times I've sewn when I'm tired and I make mistakes, and you find yourself unpicking or wasting fabric. Sew when you're nice, ready and fresh.
There are many different ways you can buy from us here at the Sewing Quarter. You can order from us by calling our free phone number at 0800 112 4433 and talk to the team at our UK-based call centre. Alternatively, there are other ways you can buy from us. You can go online and shop through our website at www.sewingquarter.com. You can even watch the show there and shop as you go. You can check out as many times as you like throughout the day and only pay a small fee of £2.95 postage and packaging for the whole day. We also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all products excluding custom-cut fabric. Our friendly UK-based team will help guide you through every step.
Simply Sewing is a magazine for dressmakers and home sewists who are passionate about fabrics and love to sew with stylish patterns. Each issue is packed with technical know-how, templates and easy-to-follow instructions to sew yourself quick wardrobe updates, accessories, plushy toys, gifts, bags and more. Plus, each issue comes with a free dress pattern from our expanding trend-led collection. We're proudly flying the flag for contemporary sewing with stylish patterns and beautiful photography to inspire sewists across the globe at every level.
Hello, I'm Mandy Shaw. I'm wishing you all a very Merry Christmas from the studios at Sewing Quarter. I hope you have a wonderful day with all your family and friends.
It's easy to buy the products you see on our shows. To buy any of the items featured on today's programmes, just head over to our website www.sewingquarter.com. Click on the video stream and you'll be taken to our watch page. Here you'll find the product that is on air right now at the top of the page. Beneath that, you'll find all the products demonstrated in this morning's shows. To add an item to your basket, simply log into your account or register with us. Then you can either check out or keep shopping. Remember, our flat rate delivery charge lets you shop all day and check out as many times as you like and only pay once for postage and packing. Only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78. Welcome back. Now, Creative Prints is our last hour. Ooh, look at them, they're all looking beautiful on the desk here. I'm going to dive straight in, without further ado, with my favourite ever Stripology ruler. Now, I love this for many, many reasons. Here's why. Here's my piece of fabric. We all love pre-cuts, right? We all love a pre-cut, but sometimes they don't do them in the colours that we want. Sometimes it puts the price up, doesn't it? That's the other thing that buying a pre-cut does. But this will reduce your cutting time by up to 75%. So, I don't know how they've worked that out, but that's what we're going with. So, my fabric is folded. I've put my grid over the top. Okay, now, a few things to just bear in mind. The very first cut I'm going to make is between 0 and 0 there. That is going to neaten off my edge. So I just need to make sure that all of those raw edges are all under there, and that's good. Now, this is the biggest of the Stripology. The other one that we have is 12 inches high. It's kind of like 12 inches squared. This one goes from 0 up to 20 inches, so it's wider. So you can get your fabric, you can get more cuts. It's brilliant. Now, what we've got along here, and this is why I absolutely love it, you don't have to do any maths. The most common strip size that you will get if you're buying jelly roll, fabric strips, whatever you want to call them, is a 2.5 inch strip. We use them for bag handles, we use them for binding, case in point, the binding that we were just about to put around the tablet cover. 2.5 inch strips. So that's the most used size. That and 1.5 inches. So here's the thing with what they've done. What Creative Grids have done, and I'm actually just going to move that off my fabric onto my fabric so you can see. Here, down the bottom, because this is where you start your cut. Can you see there's a square, 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 and a star, 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 all the way along the bottom, all the way along the base. Every square if I cut where there is every single square, I'm cutting 2.5-inch strips all the way along the ruler. So I'm not having to try and add up 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.5 plus, I'm not having to do any of that. And the same for the 1.5. Every time there's a star, if I make a cut there, then I'm cutting a 1.5-inch strip. So it's absolutely fab. And this is how easy it is. So I would just line, if I've folded my fabric, then what I will do is use one of these lines on here to line up the edge of my fabric, so I know that I'm going to get a nice straight cut if my fabric is folded. Now the other thing, I've made sure that all of my raw edges are there. I'm just going to neaten those up. So my blade goes into that sort of teardrop shape there. I press down and I cut all the way up. Now, let me just check if that's cut all the way through. No, now you see it hasn't, for 2 reasons. Firstly, because I haven't folded my fabric. I want this fabric so that it's gonna, when my blade is gonna come off that end there. So I just need to refold my fabric. The other thing to bear in mind is that this is the rotary cutter that Jen's just been cutting plastic with. So you do need a rotary cutter that has a sharp blade. Would be fab, please, Floor Manager Chris. So what I'm gonna do, and I know because I will demo, we'll have this ready to demo in just 1 second. Refold it. Now, when you get that on there you go. So that, I'll line that up again, and when I get my new rotary cutter through, that will then cut through there and we'll be ready to go. Here we go. Yeah, thank you very much. Whoops. So with a sharp blade, in you go, 2.5 inches. It has got that non-slip grip. So I go, okay, to the next square, to the next square, to the next square. In I go, done. Let me just finish off that. There we go. So yeah. Okay, so maybe just check that you do actually, that's another blunt knife, but those would normally be, and when I do this at home, I just cut, and they're all done, 2.5 inches. Just make sure you've actually got a blade that cuts. That's what I would say to you. But for $53.99, this has saved my cutting time like you wouldn't believe. And I've just got stacks and stacks and stacks now of my 2.5-inch cuts. But here's the other thing, okay? When I cut, if I then want to do 45-degree lines, I can do that. So I can cut these on, I can spin it around and then cut on the bias as well, which is just fab. If I want to spin my mat around and then cut again, I would cut, you know, take whichever ones I wanted. If I want to then cut there, then I can cut my squares as well, which is just brilliant. So for me, this is an absolute must-have. Lots of the creative grids will start off with a strip. I'm just trying to think of ones that don't. But you'll start off with a strip of pre-cut fabric, and that's where you want to be. Get your strips cut quickly, effectively, brilliantly. Just get done. Easy. Fab. I do absolutely love this. Yay. Oh, look, they've brought me more rotary cutters. They're like, Tash, just go through with your rotary cutters and see which one. Ah, there you go. Can you hear that? The joy of actually cutting. That's brilliant. So there we go. So in 2.5 inches. And again, you wouldn't have moved yours. 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches. So even though I'm having to do it again, it took me 7 seconds. Look, there you go. So 7 seconds, and actually, to be fair, look how much each of those strips was to get all of these pre-cut. That's why it's brilliant. So what does this teach us? Firstly, that this is a cracking piece of kit. Secondly, that you do have to have a sharp blade in your rotary cutter, else you're just not going to get the cuts that you want. So before you start blaming anything else, have a look at your rotary cutter, make sure that you've got, I mean, to be fair, I have just gone through 8 layers of fabric. All right, probably doesn't help, but there we go. But I know that it can do it because I do that at home. But I know that I'm starting off with a sharp rotary cutter. So that is how I've done all of those strips. Just, I mean, there's more here. There's more strips everywhere. So fast. you'd still be lining fabric up, wouldn't you, underneath and making sure you got it straight and No, don't do that. So super, super easy. It standardizes, it just makes everything perfect. Now, maybe I'm gonna do a quilt and I wanna do this with little 2.5-inch squares, then line it up. And again, you can just line it up anywhere. Just make sure that that's gonna line up along one of those. And again, I know that as soon as I slot into there, I'm 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. I could go all the way along there. Super, super easy, but look, my perfect patchwork squares, done, 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 perfect. In seconds. Now that could be 2.5, it could be 5-inch, it could be 10-inch. When I made an awful lot of my tablet stands, that takes 2 10-inch squares. And actually the 10-inch square on this is in white. It's highlighted in white. You can see there. Yeah, no, it is. So you've got that 10-inch square there because it's such a popular size. It's got it highlighted so you can also make sure that you have. And again, you'll notice that it's just lifted off the front there so that it all fits in beautifully. And you've got that as an extra square in there for your 10-inch square. So maybe you're cutting back and just trimming up and evening off your squares. You've got it all there. It's an absolutely fabulous piece of kit. And I absolutely love it. And that's why I forked out and got it. $53.99, but it sped everything up brilliantly. And so my mum's quilt that I made, so that was out of 5-inch squares. Pop, 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 done. So quick. Now, oh, cathedral window. Oh, this is new. Brand new creative grids. Now, you know, if I'd have been sensible about it, I would have kept that plain fabric, wouldn't I, to put this on, but I didn't. Maybe I could just pop that on there like that. So this is your cathedral window here, and what you can see, very clear. Now, look at these little bits here. So you're obviously going to use this outside cutting template, and that will cut in there so that when you come down there, you can cut into there. And it's like here, so if I'm cutting along here, to make sure that I cut all the way up, my blade will sit into there. It's like if I want to then cut up that side, and look, that's why it's got that. So it cuts it perfectly every single time. Now, these come with full instructions. So when you get yours, these little black pieces of paper here, never, ever, ever throw these away because those have got your full instructions in. We're just trying to find these. Chris didn't know, so we'll get that to show you. But it gives you an idea of how to use it, step-by-step instructions, really clear, and also it will give you designs and ideas on how to thing these. So, have I got a closed one? Oh, has Chris got one? Oh, there you go. Chris is going to go and get one. But there you go. So, brilliant piece of kit. Creative Grids is a family-run company, and Sheila, the mother, was the one to invent this non-slip grip that you'll see on all of the Creative Grids rulers. So if you just see there, these are your non-slip grids. That is embedded into the plastic. So that's not going anywhere. It's not going to rub off. It's not going to peel off. It's not going to unstick. It's embedded into the plastic. So that's your non-slip grip. So that means that I can put that on that fabric. That is not going anywhere. When I first started on the channel, I only made things that I could cut with scissors. I was terrified of cutting with rotary cutters. But look, I've done all of those. Happy to cut in here. And look at the angles that I've just cut with that. I haven't even taken that out of the fabric. And look at it, just done. Because I know that this isn't going to slip. So it's saving me time, it's saving me money because I'm not wasting fabric in miscutting. I'm not doing any of that. It's going to be cut perfectly, and that's what I know. And I know that it's going to be cut super, super safely as well because I've got those non-slip grips. That's just some of the features that you get with the Creative Grids, which is brilliant. Now, when you get yours, it will come to you like this, and this is the bit. Never throw this away. So this is your non-slip cathedral window. This is brand new today, by the way. So on the back pages, it gives you some ideas of the designs that you can make. Lovely, isn't it? Really beautiful. And then it gives you your step-by-step guide. It's not underpants, Producer Paul. You're quilting. Unless you quilt with pants, that's a whole other story. Different show completely, yeah. So every creative grid comes with this. Now this was actually designed by Lynn Edwards. And Lynn Edwards, we know, is, well, an MBE for services to quilting. Now I know that, firstly because I know that, and secondly because she's written a book. Where is the book? Oh, there's the book. Where is the book? Oh, it's on the book stand where we always put books. There it is. Now, this is brand new today as well. So let's start with all the brand new today things. This is your creating waves. We're always creating waves here at Sewing Quarter. So if you want to create your own waves, then you've got in here different projects, different ideas. Now, the ideas were put together by two incredible quilters. The first one, obviously, Lynn Edwards, MBE, and the other is Rachel Cross, daughter of the founders of Creative Grids. So when her parents set up Creative Grids, she soon got involved, and you're going to get 5 projects. So 2 can be done with the 3-inch making waves, and 3 can be done with the 2-inch creating waves. So it's a great one to just get going with and have a good old play. So Lynn's done the designs in here. Rachel's worked with her with the rulers. And you've got lots of different ways to be creating waves yourself. Or maybe you just want to take an element of how to do the wavy borders, just getting something a little bit different going on. But step-by-step guides, as you can see in there, different designs, different ways. And actually not just quilts either. You've got your wavy daisy bag, which I'd like to say again, your wavy daisy bag, just because it sounds cool. And on you go. Cool. And then that gives you a little bit of information at the back. Look, there's Lynn getting her MBE. Sometimes it's nice to put faces to names, isn't it? And then there's Rachel, daughter of Creative Grids. And there's Rachel and Lynn there. There you go. Brilliant. Now, the wavy ruler. The 3-inch, which goes with this project book. So 2 out of the 5 designs in there are for the 3-inch ruler, and the others go with the 2-inch ruler. Now this is, here it is. So if you're going for that book, and there's nothing better than, you know, going with the designers, having those designs there and then. Here it is. This is your 3-inch wave. Now with Creative Grids, what I've realized is, as soon as I see this bit down here, this straight edge down here, I know that I'm going to be starting off having to cut a strip. Now you can use your ruler, of course, you've got complete capability to cut that strip with that ruler, but how much quicker would it be if you've got the stripology? Just saying. £22.50, you can cut your strip there, and then you've got that to then use with your waves. And again, there we go. Now you'll notice as well, some are black and some are white. That just, you can spin them around, and then you'll be, whichever way round the numbers are that you can read them, means you've got the ruler the correct way for whatever you're cutting, which is just one of those other things that they've just got spot on. And here, you'll notice this opaque bit all the way around the edge, and in those little dots all the way down there, that is your non-slip grip as well. So it doesn't matter how small a piece of fabric you're working with, it's staying put. So important when you're cutting. These give you ideas of what you can make. Lots of ideas. Brilliant. Now, where is my Dresden? Here. Oh, yes. You know, and you just get kind of like colour blindness. Now, Dresden plate, an absolute classic. This is your non-slip Dresden plate ruler. 18 degree, there we go. Now, this is also designed by Lynn Edwards. She's been busy, hasn't she? And then you get your circle. And again, your instructions are going to show you, step by step, And I'm going to show you some examples of what you can be making. But again, don't be worried about this. This is one of those things that people often worry about making. But with these, to give you that cut, you're going to be so successful with it. And this is what I was looking at. Here, it gives you your finished block size. So finished block size, if you want a 20-inch, maybe you're doing like a whopper, then the finished size of the plate, so your finished block size will be 20 inches, so the size of the plate will be 16.5 inches, which means that each segment needs to be 8 inches. Now this goes up to 8.5, 9 inches, so you've got plenty of capability to go up to a 20-inch square block there. Let me show you, oh gosh, where is it under here? Let me give you some inspiration if I can actually, here it is, hiding down there. Isn't that beautiful? Now that was created with the ruler. And this is actually a lawn fabric, which is quite slippery and fine to use. But look, it's done it, it's cut it absolutely beautifully, absolutely perfectly. And this is the sort of thing that you can be achieving. Or maybe you just want to do a corner and have sort of a corner coming out. It's up to you how you want to do it, how you want to do these. But you see, look, there we go. So if you want to do the full, now you can do both kind of edges with this as well. You can do the curved edges. Here we go, let's come in. So you can do your curved edges. You can do like we've got here, those slightly spiked edges. You can do it on just a corner, sunburst or a sunrise, or you can just use it to do, I like to call that Jaws border, but apparently it has another name. But you know what I mean, jaggedy teeth. So that's that, cracking piece of kit, $20.99. Now let's have a look at the wedding ring template. It's this one. Now this is a cracking piece of kit. We've kept this in the packet because it's got so many pieces and otherwise we'll just lose them. So you've got lots of different templates, but this is how you can be using it and what you can be making. Are you ready for this? Ta-da! It's a bit good, isn't it? Isn't that awesome? And that is just in plain coloured fabrics. I think that's just incredible. I do like that an awful lot. Yeah. It's just fab. So you've got instructions on the back there. So you know how normally you get like that little, you'll get that little square like that here because there's so much going on with this one. You need more. You need more. And there they all are. That is going to make some amazing quilts. Amazing. We love it. It's amazing. But you need that. Yeah. Some of these are just amazing. Just incredible quilts. A message from Laura about the stripology. Yes. Oh, cutting on the bias. Yes, yes, yes. Hang on, I need to get my head around this one. Now, hang on. So, salvage to salvage. So that's my fabric, salvage to salvage. Now you've got your 45-degree line, which is that one there. And all you would need to do is line that up along there. And then you would cut through there, and that's going to cut you on your 45-degree line. So let me line that up there. So there, that's cut on your 45-degree line there. So you can do your bias binding along like that. Easy peasy, whatever size you want. So quick and easy, really quick and easy. So then that means that when you've done your strips, for example, and I always have to, I don't know why, I always have like a mental block on the 45-degree lines, but what it means is that when you've cut your strips like that, let's see if I can get this the right way round, line that up on your 45, oh that's my 60 degree, that's my 45-degree line there, line that up on there. And then, oh, hang on. Now you see, if I'd have been thinking about this, so that's a half one, blah, blah, blah. So I'd go up to there, and I can start to get my triangles. There, like that. Easy peasy, easy peasy. Yeah, so you can do all of those. You've got your 60-degree line, you've got your 45-degree line, but then it just makes cutting them so much easier. There you go. Something else very useful. What's that, Producer Paul? Oh, the rounding tool. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we did have this on the other day. Sometimes you don't want to have straight edges. Sometimes you want to have something that's nicely rounded. And this is how you do it. So you'd have your fabric. And with this, yeah, it does have great diagrams as to how to round things off. So if I wanted to round off this edge along here, then I line that straight bit up along there. This gives me a 4-inch radius along there. And then I literally just follow that line around like that. And because you've got that non-slip, you can just keep going around if you need to get that absolutely perfect cut. And there it is, beautifully round. So no more delving. Come on, I know that you've all done it. What size plate do I have that I could just cut around? It's dangerous, don't do it. Get yourself a proper edger. Now, you've also got a 5-inch radius. So if you wanted a larger radius, then you can do that as well. So maybe you decide, actually, I want a larger radius. That's fine. This is your 5-inch one on there. Done. Nicely curved off. Well, you've also got on here, you've got little markers. You've also got your center point there. So if that is your 5-inch block, then that would be the end of your block. Yeah, there's lots that you can do. So you can make your circle there. So you would fold your circle, and that would be, well, let's do it. Let's just do it, shall we? Let's just do it. No more chit-chat. Let's just do it. So I would fold my fabric in half. I would quarter it like that. Line everything up like so. And then that then lines up my edges. I've never done this actually. This is great. No, I'm not doing it the wrong way. Look, like that. That's my center point. Yeah, that's why I folded it. Producer Paul is like, you're doing it the wrong way. I'm not. I'm about to give you a circle. Done. Circle. Done. Easy peasy. That was with my 5-inch radius. So that's going to give me a 10-inch square. So that's going to be a 9.5 finished circle if I take my seam allowance off. You've also got 4-inch radius, which gives me an 8-inch diameter, which gives me a 7.5-inch finished circle. You can also do, if you wanted to, I mean, it might be, you can also, well, you can do so many different things. If you wanted to just do small bits, you can do that. You can also cut your drunkard's path or orange peel shapes for your applique. You can actually, that's a great shape as well for making balls, all that sort of thing. It's all in there. Check out your baskets, don't miss out on that. $24.99, and it has lots of other uses that you can use. Now, hexagon shapes, we need them in our lives. I've been getting into my English paper piecing. I absolutely love it. Now, in this pack, can I open this? Good, because I'm already opening it. This is the first time I've seen these. Have you had these on the show before? You have, but not with me. It's my premiere. Yeah, look at these. So we've got a 2-inch. You might be wondering why the fox is on there, by the way. It's on their creative grids because they are based out of Leicester. And that's the sign of Leicester. So I've got 1 inch, 1 1/4 inch, 1 1/2 inch, and 2 inch. All those useful sizes that you need. Now, the other joy of these is that you've got little holes on the points, on each of the points. So you can use that in 2 ways. Firstly, you can use that to draw your seam allowance on. So just pop your pen in there, draw your seam allowance, mark that up. But also, if you're doing this for English paper piecing, what you can also do is cut your fabric to that size and your template, your paper template, to the smaller size, and then you've got that 1/4 inch seam to fold around. So if you're English paper piecing, absolutely great. If you're using these just to get your hexes for your quilting, then you can mark so that you know dot to dot that you are sewing exactly your 1/4 inch, so you get the perfect hexagon every time. £22.50, and that is worth every single penny for having perfect hexes every time. What's next, Paul? The kite. Is that this one? Kites plus ruler. Here it is. Look at this. Funny looking thing. Doesn't look like an actual kite. I'm expecting Dick Van Dyke to jump out any second. Here we go. Can we see this on here? In Mary Poppins. Yeah, he goes flying a kite, doesn't he, right at the end. Okay, so you've got fold lines along through here. These just give you some inspiration as to what you can be doing with it. You've got, this will show you your triangle base lines along here. It's a very comprehensive, clever piece of kit. So let me show you the instructions. So the first thing is, first instructions, place the kite on the edge. So you've got to cut strips of fabric the height of the kite that you want. So if you've got your stripology, then you just cut your strips, and already it's super, super speedy and you're ready to go. And then you line it up. So you've cut your strip, and then you would line it up and cut along to there. Then number 2, spin it around, cut the other side. And then you would spin it around so that you're not wasting any fabric. They sort of not slot into each other, if you see what I mean. And then round here, you go up to here. This is your basic kite shape here. And then you can get all the different shapes. So if you want to have different elements of your kite being different shapes and colours, then you can do that. You can break your kite down, which is just fab. And then if I turn this around, it gives you all of those instructions as to how to do those. And again, you see, look at all these strips. If you've got your stripology, you can just cut those straight off. Really, really super easy. So you've got all these different designs. You've got the options of doing all of these designs simply, easily, step by step, easy, easy, easy designs. And what I love is that they'll always do it in the 2 tones. So you know which is the right fabric, which is the wrong side of the fabric, and off you go. Very, very easy. And here they even give you the markers to show you which way to cut, which direction to cut. It's just easy. Great. And so, for example, if I wanted to cut, again, I've cut my 2 1/2 inch strips with my stripology ruler. Then I would just, hang on, let me get these instructions, because I've never used this, but it inspires me to think that I can. So, get my 2 1/2 inch strip, And look, 2.5 inch kite. So I line that up there. I've got that line there to line that up with. And I can already start to cut. Then you spin it around. And you can then, hang on, oh no, I spin the fabric around. That's the way. Line it up like that. Just like that. One kite shape, cut. Easy, and that's because I've already cut my strip because I've got my stripology. I can do that. And there's one kite cut. And what you'll notice is that, look, it's flat along there because that's going to help me. That's going to give me my 1/4 inch seam. So I'm not going to have to cut off dog ears because it's already done it for me. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Right, so that's that. Is that new today, did I hear you say, Producer Paul? It's new for me. $29.99. I'm going to start calling them my own premieres when I get to see them for the first time. Now, this time of year is very busy. So, you know, delivery might take a little longer than usual just because we're just getting everything out. So do bear with us. So check out as many times as you want. And just enjoy. Just enjoy. You will get them. Right, let's have a look at some fabric because you're going to have to... which one first? Iris. Iris. This one. No. Which one? Oh, that one. In front of me. They're all in front of me. Now, maybe you want a bundle of all your iris colours. Complete mental block there. Then, here you go. You have got 8 fat quarters. Do you know what? I would just get that because it looks really beautiful. Just ombre in the colours. But if you want 8 fat quarters, they're $9.99. I've made flowers and all sorts out of this. It's a lovely weight for all of those sorts of things. $9.99 for your So Easy 8-piece Iris Fat Quarter bundle. Always very popular. I wonder how many of you have actually opened it up and used it and how many of you are just enjoying the colour range. But you've got that today, $9.99. So a great place to get you started with 8 pieces there in the beautiful Iris collection. Now, we touched upon this in the earlier hour, the K4 collection. This is another version of it. So, if you fancy getting these colourways, you've got your teapots and everything. And we've got all of those there. Fab. So we've got all of those and we're good to go. So that's from your fall 2017, so bang up to date. Well, until we hit, what, Monday? That'll be last year's. Now, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the examples. Oh, now, I'm going to have to find which one this is. But look at these. This is your, trying to look at the names on them. Where's the name on it? I've lost it. I've lost the plot. Where's it gone? I haven't got the names on here to see them. Hang on. Well, this one you would use with one of your triangular rulers. And so you can, here we go, so you can see here. This is it. Yeah, sorry, it was upside down. So look, this is one of the ideas that you can make. And we did this using sort of a colour wheel like that. And here they go out like that. And it just gives you, this is just one of the varieties. And so this is the ruler that allows you to create something like this, which is absolutely stunning. There are 4 different ideas just to start you off. So that's your spider web one there, and it just gives you great scope for making things like this. This is a fabulous example of what the sort of thing that you can be making. Isn't that gorgeous? So you can be doing things like that by having this sort of kit. There you go. So that's You imagine all those blocks. There you go. Now, 2 peaks. Where's my 2 peaks gone? 2 peaks, 2 peaks, 2 peaks. I do not, is it this one? Let me just check. 2 peaks in one 6-inch triangle. Here we go. Now I don't have the instructions for these, so I can't, but what I can show you are that these are the sort of things that you can be making. So you can do your borders of your quilts with that. Have I got an example in my trolley? Let me, I do believe I might have. Look at this. Here we go. Look, you can see. That one there, is that there? What have I got underneath that one? Yep. So this was made on one of our shows. So that's how you can do your blocks. Lovely. If you wanted to see, that was with the Dresden plate. We've got examples of those as well. Lovely. So they're both Dresdens. That's what I had under, sneaky hiding under there. I thought I had 4 of the same, but there we go. Look at those, looking good. But you see, there's no reason why you can't mix and match these blocks together. So yeah, you could do these, and then you could put the Dresden. You could have a Dresden here, Dresden there. Shall I do that? And give you an example, because I think they're the same size blocks. So I could put that there like that. So you could then, and then you could do kind of like a sampler quilt. So the Dresden details down the bottom. But it's having fun, isn't it? Getting creative. But why not? You know, what beautiful. It looks great, doesn't it? It looks really lovely. And again, this shows you the different edges you can get with your Dresden. So you've got a rounded edge there. You've got, I like to think of that as the tie edge there. And then with your twin peaks, you've got that. It's just 2 peaks. Twin Peaks was a series in the 80s, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Fabulous. $20.99 for your 2 peaks, or twin peaks as I would like to recall it. And the Dresden plate ruler will give you these ones, and your 2 peaks will give you that. But mix and match them up. You know, or you just have to follow the instructions to get the size block you want, and you could have a whale of a time. It's gorgeous. Dee. Now then, I've got a Lone Star. Which is my Lone Star one? Lone Star. Oh, this is a good one. Whoop. That's your Lone Star. I'll pop that on the desk there so you can see that. I'm going to show you on the front of it. Never throw the packaging away. So the packaging gives you your instructions. So if you throw that away, okay, if you do, then you do have a place to look at. On the ruler itself, it will give you kind of a website to go and look at to get instructions, but it's much easier just to keep these with you. Now again, step by step, simple, easy instructions. But look what we're starting off again with. We're starting off again with fabric strips. So again, that makes me think, get your stripology. Your fabric strips, and then look at the angles that you can cut these at so that you can get that finished look. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But look at that. I mean, imagine just having loads of diamonds like that. Wow. You could ombre that up. It would look amazing. Loads of different ways that you can really get creative with these. Or if you just, this makes me think, you know, like the chunky knit. You could almost do a quilt replicating a big chunky knit. It'd be amazing. But then look at all the detailing. Those could be different colours. You could do a rainbow edge all the way around your Lone Star. Love it. So this ruler does so much. But again, say you wanted to do a Lone Star square and you wanted to have a finish size, then it tells you what you need to cut where to give you your finished block size, which I think is very handy. There you go. I do love the idea of once you, because I know some of you, like Karen, who always watches with the creative grids, I think she's up to about 15 in her collection, and I'm doing the same. I'm not up to 15 yet, but I just, as and when I can afford, I'll get another one and have a play. But imagine then being able to put a block of each in a quilt. Be amazing. Right, what are we looking at next? Producer Paul? Oh, the Moda Fat Quarter Bundle, yes. Oh, now, yes. So we were showing you earlier, weren't we? The kaleidoscope, beautiful one. There's no reason why. What you need, and that was just made out of plain colours, you could get a similar effect. Doesn't have to be exactly the same, but you can get a similar effect with these. Now this is, now here we go. Bonnie and Camille. They're a mother and daughter combo. Very, very talented. I don't think that the daughter had much choice other than to just be fabulous and design. She does lots and lots of beautiful design fabrics, as does Mum, but the two of them together have come together for a selected range from Moda. Now, Moda can be quite tricky to get hold of sometimes because it has to come in from America, so we've done all the importing, we've done all of that stuff, so you don't have to pay your import taxes or any of that faffy stuff. And so you can get it today for $39.99 for your 12 pieces fat quarter pack from Bonnie and Camille. But basically they've chosen the colours that they absolutely love and that they think go together beautifully. Sometimes there's a lot to be said for plains in a quilt just looking gorgeous. We've had an image through from Agnes. Oh, wow, look at those. She's made some Christmas cushions, fab. That's using the Dresden plate. Do you know what? Fab, because here's the thing. Agnes, at Christmas, there are never enough places to sit, are there? We ended up with garden furniture in for everyone to sit in our house. So actually some cushions on that would have been rather more comfortable, wouldn't it? So this is your Dresden plates. This is what you get. You get two here. Now this has been designed by Lynn Edwards, MBE, £20.99. And you could be making Christmas cushions and beautiful quilts and blocks and just all sorts of scrummy, gorgeous things. It's £20.99. Now, let's have a look. I'm just trying to think what we haven't looked at. Oh, we've got tumblers here. Now, this is your tumbler designed to cut 9 tumblers from a 2.5-inch strip each time the ruler is positioned. What? No. Now, again, this that's what your tumblers are going to look like. Just down there. There you tumblers. Again, full instructions. So this is super, super easy. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways. Now, I know already I need a 2.5-inch strip because that's what it's already told me. Okay. So I have my 2.5-inch strip that I cut earlier. Now, if you do happen to have your whatchamacallit, your rotating cutting mat, now's the time to get it out. But otherwise, just line your 2.5-inch strip that you've already cut, or you do get a 2.5-inch strip ruler that you can line up your fabric, but I've not needed to because I've got my creative grid, and then you cut into there. Now, what you can see, whenever you see a circle like that with your creative grids, then you know that what you've got there already is space for your ruler to go in. Now, I shouldn't have moved that along. Sorry, I pulled that out when I shouldn't have. Let's just reposition that. And just actually cut that properly. There we go. And then, so I know that when I cut there, when I cut up into there, my blade goes up into that circle so that I've cut all the way through. You see, cut all the way through. Now again, you know, I've literally just picked this up and started cutting. I haven't looked at the instructions. I'm not an expert quilter. You know this. You know that cutting for me has been something that I've struggled with. I've been nervous about doing. So for me to just pick up a ruler and have the confidence to cut it on air, it is that easy to do. I'm going to cut that one just a little bit better. There you go. And there we have, look, done. And look, I doubled up as well. So, oh, hang on. So there they are. Done. Done. Incredibly quick, ready for you to sew. So if you're someone, well, you see, what I should have done is done these in the other colour, but basically, when you arrange them, oh, I've just missed that edge there. When you arrange them, they'll go like that. And that is how you do them. So you do them in a contrasting colour, obviously, but look, some of these are doubled up. I've got loads. So I've basically cut 18 in one go. Very, very quickly. How quick was that? And they're all perfectly cut, good to go. Now you would do those in contrasting colours. That's another double one there. But really, really easy. Sorry? Yeah, no, absolutely. So you'd do one strip in one colour, the next strip in another colour, and then you would mix and match them through. Well, in fact, shall I do that? I've got time, haven't I? Have I got time? Yeah, let's have a look. So what I'll do then is I will cut, using my stripology, my 2.5 inch. There you go, how about that? So you can use this ruler, you can use that ruler, but I love my stripology. So, for those of you that missed it earlier, fold your fabric. Now, obviously I've taken cuts out all over the place here, and this is where I get to with my fabric, is that I have a whole load of strips. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do with that? So all I do, let's just get rid of the odd bit. She's supposed like, will you please watch your fingers? I'm watching my fingers. Don't you worry. Let's just neaten that off. You need to check out your baskets on this one, I'm afraid. So if you want it, please check out your basket. So let's see how fast we can cut these. So I'm just going to, so stripology is the most popular. Do you know what? I think the very first thing that you ever will use will be your strips. It just will be. So just make sure that you've got, I'm not worried about folding these up. Now I have a blade that's actually sharp. I'm going to use that, line these up, line up that bottom edge. I'm lining up this bottom edge. I'm looking at that folded line, lining that up there, and I'm going to go, right. And this is what I do at home. I just spend an evening cutting through all my scraps and cutting them into usable bits of fabric. So this might be an evening where I go, okay, so now I've got that usable 2.5 inch strip, which otherwise might have just been relegated to the scrap box. I've got that. I've got these, and I can use as much of these as I want. But I've just done that in moments. So there'll be bits that I need to trim down from here, but this otherwise would have just been a scrap. But you do need to check out your baskets. So this is your stripology. This is the largest of the stripology. I went for this one because I thought, well, actually, what's the very first thing I want this to do? And the very first thing that I want this to do is to cut strips for me, 2.5 inch strips. I want to be able to basically create my very own design rolls myself. That's what I want to be able to do. So now, obviously, I'm not going to be doing a full one here, but now I get my other ruler, cut. Now, you could have cut your 2.5 inch strip from there, but I know that it's going to be so much quicker if I just do that. Bish, bash, bosh. And I just want to show you now what this tumbling block should look like. How quick was that? And that's the thing. So now you can just get on making, can't you? You don't have to worry. You've done it. You've cut out. And actually I've used that out of scraps, which is great because then I'm making the most of my stash. And look how many I've made, just in moments, very, very, very quickly. And we like that. We like that a lot. But that's how easy. That's why we rate creative blocks. That's why we creative grids. That's why we keep bringing them back to you so that you can be making blocks quickly, easily, effectively. And look, these are all matching exactly where they need to because I've used my creative grids, because it didn't slip, because it didn't move around, it didn't wobble around as I did it. I was safe, I've done it, I haven't cut my finger off, which is always a bonus. And there it is, quick, easy, done. And look, I've still got all of these left over that I've cut, still to piece down together, so I can get on with the bit that I love, which is the sewing. That's what you get with any of these creative grids. That is what you are getting. We've got another tumbler. Now this is your 4.5. This is a big one. This is for, and again, same theory there. You're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of a 4.5-inch strip. So this gives you a ruler at the base in order to cut your 4.5-inch strip. It shows you which way to lie your grain line. But what this is doing, you see these lines along here? What this is doing is you use your ruler to cut your strips along there. And then when you sew them together in one great long line, and then you line them up and you line that seam line along there, and that is how you get down here, that line there. Okay, so if you can just see. So it gives you those lines so that you could line those up, and then that gives you another take, which actually would give you another version. So lots of ways to use these. Something else very popular today, brand new today as well, was the cathedral window. You do need to check out your baskets for this though. If you're going for the cathedral window, which is brand new today, this is what you can be making. So let's show you these instructions, and this is what your cathedral window can be looking like. That's rather lovely, isn't it? Cathedral windows look beautiful. Well, I think the modal would look absolutely stunning. And do you know what else I'm thinking? I know that we didn't have this when we made it, but if you want to make your cathedral window, a look that you could get would be something like that. So maybe that would be like your starting point, and you could use your creative grids to do your cathedral window. And this has got tilde on the inside. So this is just to give you an idea. Like I say, we didn't have this in stock when we made this. We did this all by hand. But how much easier once you get the grid. But you see, we've got for you, have you got, are we done? Is that it? Oh my gosh, I was going to show you all of your tilde. So this is your tilde here. So if you wanted to make that cushion, get yourself the cathedral window and get yourself your 20 pieces of tilde in your Fat 8 collection, and you can be making something like that. Just get some plain white fabric and off you go. Beautiful, $49.99. Now, let's have a look at what's coming up tomorrow. So at 8 a.m. we've got our winter sale. Lucy's in. So if you want to make a Lucy runner, a table runner with Lucy, we're not going to make Lucy run, even if she does come in wearing trainers. And then 10 a.m. we've got our quilting tools, and then 11 a.m. we've got our interlocking block quilt, again with Lucy. So lots to stay tuned for tomorrow. What are you going to do for the rest of the day? Is it still snowing out there? We don't know. We're in a little bubble in here. Feels like it's freezing. But check out those baskets. Don't miss out on anything, especially if you've got that stripology in there. Don't miss out on that. Check out those baskets. You can check out as many times as you like. It's only £2.95 PMP per day. If you want to actually talk to someone to order, then 0800 112 4433. It is free and a UK-based call centre to do so. Just leaves me to say, have a fabulous rest of the day. I'm taking Freddie off to see the panto, so I will see you bright and early. Oh yes, you will.
Merry Christmas! And a very happy New Year! Hooray!
Join us as we prepare for the new year on Saturday the 30th of December for a special show with guest designer Paul Clark. Star of the Great British Sewing Bee, Paul will be demonstrating how to make a men's button-down shirt from the book Burda Style Sewing Vintage Modern. He'll share his expert tips along with plenty of fun with me, John Scott. We have 3 stunning new premier fabrics which will be perfect for this project. Choose from a gorgeous navy and red check, a stylish blue and green gingham, or a bright gingham with red and pink. So don't miss this inspiring show at 8 a.m. on Saturday the 30th of December with Paul and me, John Scott, only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78.